Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final day of the Winter Tour here in Western Europe. You're going to be joining us for a bonus Sunday, a nice, cozy Sunday. I'm going to be your host, Nat T, and joining me is going to be Kezu, T-Gov, and Lizard on the panel. How you guys feeling? We get a fourth day in the week, the DPC week.
The fourth day.
The fourth
in
day.
1 week. But we don't get as many series as we usually do.
Sad.
Yeah,
It's very
today is
sad.
only one series.
So you guys better pay attention because you only get one today.
Only one. You only get to see us once for one series. And it's going to be a very interesting series we can talk about in a little bit. But first, we should recap and talk about what happened on Friday night, because that is where we saw a lot of things go ways people would not expect. It started off with Liquid versus OG. This one did go the way people expected. It went to Liquid, but it went all 3 games, Kezu.
Yeah, so this one actually went the distance. I think I saw I saw a little bit of this game too, where I feel like there was a lot of back and forth in the whole series, actually, which I think surprised me a little bit. I feel like OG were kind of holding their ground very well. Even in this game, they have some sniper Omni Knight combo with, I think, a very early pick, like an answer to the Riki, which is something we hadn't seen before. So I think that was something like pretty cool by them, but overall, I think Liquid are just proving to, I don't know, just to be the powerhouse.
Yep. I feel like for OG this series, they easily could have 2-0'd it. I think their first game, this Omni Knight pick from Misha, he was able to do so much work. But eventually, I think Liquid just had the point in the game where they found the black holes, they found the initiations with their heroes. And, of course, Nisha popping off once more in his Invoker. And, yeah, game 2, OG, they had a leaner and won the game. And then game 3, complete different story. It was a Liquid show the entire time. But now, because they lost this series, OG at home, I'm sure Seb's already said it. They're going to be hoping that Entity lose today, just so they get their ticket to the major without then having to play for tiebreakers and whatnot.
Yeah, the second game as well for Liquid, it seemed like... Yeah, I'm not sure. Did you like their draft? Like the Monkey King, they picked it into the Timber Saw. It looked like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. We're going to defeat you in the lane, and then OG just rolled over them in that mid-game.
In fairness, though, when we had the interview as well, they did mention that the second game they didn't really execute at all. And you can see it a lot, even like in here, right? You've got some Wukong being thrown down at the tail end of a fight. Clips before with some mag blinking in, not really getting any of the spells off. I think for Liquid, it was probably their weakest game in the DPC, just mechanically, and they just didn't find that synergy in a draft that needed perfect synergy to execute. So
yeah, and then game 3, the 2 supports just completely taking over. This was the Rubik show. Insania helped out with the Crystal Maiden. He was giving that aura, but here we see the highlight in which Boxy survives on 1 HP, takes the Siphon, turns it, and just goes 2 versus 5, right? Like 2 of them only remained alive, and they just wiped OG. It wasn't the game-changing moment. It's not like they won because of this moment, but it is
we remember
the most.
yeah,
it's something that you just remember.
I mean, the game definitely could have gone a very different way if that fight had have ended with Boxy dying earlier. We'll never know, though. We saw it play out that way. It looked fantastic for both teams, a fantastic showing. In the second series, though, I wouldn't say it was a fantastic showing for both teams. This was Gaming Gladiators up against Tundra, and Gaming Gladiators won it 2-0, right over Tundra. It was pretty unanimous on the panel that it felt Tundra had some drafting issues. Definitely not what we expected from them for this DPC.
No, I mean, Tundra, to me, they've been one of the best teams at drafting. They won TI for a reason. Of course, they play well, but also their strategies are very good. I feel like right now they're maybe not too comfortable with some of what teams are banning out against them. I think they're not getting their hands on the Naga all the time. Like even here, I think Gaming Gladiators had a very nice response to their draft. They one of the few teams that could actually make Doom work. It was a good game for an early BKB. You can always Doom the Tide. And, well, I think, did they get the Lina twice?
No.
They did not.
They
got IO Lash.
Yeah, there you go. They got some of their bread and butter, and
Yeah.
they kind of just slapped them.
I didn't like the way the Tundra overall finalized their drafts on Skitter. Like in the first game with the CK, in the second game with the Medusa. I'm just not the greatest fan of these heroes. I believe that they went to 2016, 9 and Skitter playing in alternate attacks or something like that, and they just drafted the same heroes that they were picking back then, which makes me believe that they went full into comfort zone instead of figuring things out once that Naga is banned out, or some other carries that they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, I think for Tundra at least, it's when they started out the DPC run, it was still kind of the TI-esque meta, and then after a week or so, then we shifted more into the post-TI meta, and Tundra have been one of the only teams that hasn't really adapted to it. I feel like they've just stuck to their guns and like what gave them that TI success. And other teams have been slowly figuring out like the kite potential that Tundra has, the playstyle which is very defensive that they have, skipping waves, and I think those teams have developed over the tour, whilst Tundra just, putting it bluntly, they've just stagnated as the same team, which is still incredibly strong.
It's kind of hard to blame them, right? Like for a team that won TI, it's kind of hard to blame them for stagnating a little bit in the first DPC season that comes afterwards.
But it's also a big props to Gaming Gladiators for being one of those teams that progressed very well over the DPC. A team that has also been progressing astronomically, I say this because this was their second series win, is Nigma Galaxy. We had this third and final series. It was Nigma Galaxy up against Secret. For Secret, they needed to win this one to keep their Division 1 dreams alive. Unfortunately, it ended in a 2-0 and not in their favor.
I mean, I think Secret made it very hard for themselves. I don't want to take any credit away from Nigma because I think they have perhaps the most improved team throughout like the last week or so.
Nigma Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they're playing so much better. Their laning is better. Their drafts are better. They're playing on high tempo. They're helping each other. Their drafts also kind of, you know, they show what they want to do and they play to that within the game too. So I think they're doing great.
And they also got Razor twice, right?
It does help.
That helped. But why did they get Razor twice? Because finally, ATF, he started playing some different heroes too. So you have to worry about other conventional carries to ban out before banning out the Razor. And then you end up in a situation in which he's playing on the hero that is arguably, well, top 3 most comfortable heroes for him.
Yeah, it also helps for Nigma at least. I think they've understood through drafting Amar's heroes, they need Mind Control to also scale and put some threat onto the carry, and they need Sumail to be on a hero that just does the damage. And now that they found that balance, so it's these Darkses and Furians for MC, and then it doesn't really matter what Amar's plays. It can be some Razor, it can be some Slark, whatever. He can play with his aggressive playstyle because they know that the other cores are stepping up to fill the gaps that Amar not playing a traditional carry will fill. And it did take them a couple series, if not more, to find that balance, but at least in the last couple games, even the series that they haven't won, you can see that they're shifting towards a very logical playstyle for the players that they have.
You guys missed the most important thing that Nigma Galaxy pulled out. It was the GH Naga Siren again. The pose for Naga Siren. Let's be real. That really won them, you know, game number 2 there.
On his own.
On his own. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, to be fair.
I mean, it is always a treat to see it.
No, it's an absolute banger. But that's where, for Nigma at least, it's if they did the Naga Siren in the first series, probably would have lost. They've been terrible. But I think it's because the team now has confidence in each other and how they want to play the game, you can see these Naga Sirens, you can see new heroes come into the mix because they understand each other better, but it took them the entirety of Tour 1 to find that level of understanding.
Yeah. And because of that, Nigma Galaxy coming into their own, we have the leaderboard looking like this. It's Liquid undefeated series-wise, 7 wins. Gaming Gladiators secured second there as well with 5 wins, 2 losses. OG Tundra, same scoreline, but all their series have been played out. Entity and Nigma Galaxy just behind. They still have 1 series. They'll be playing each other today. And then Into the Breach and Secret down there with 1 series win, but both of them unfortunately going to be relegated. Entity Nigma Galaxy here. This is our series. This is our final Western Europe series, and it promises to deliver tiebreakers. No matter who wins, there are going to be tiebreakers for us. If we see Entity win, it's going to be a 3-way tiebreaker for 2 slots to the major. And if Nigma Galaxy win, then it'll be a Tundra OG tiebreaker for 3rd and 4th. And then Nigma Galaxy and Entity will be playing again. Those will be in a best of 3. If it's the 3-way tiebreaker, then it will be a best of 1. And Into the Breach and Secret, even though they were the same scoreline, Secret ended up forfeiting, so they're not going to be playing out their tiebreaker. Secret will be coming in at number 8 and Into the Breach at number 7.
Yeah, you can see that. I guess for Secret standpoint, there's no DPC points on the line for $1,000. Yeah. Take away the stress. You've already had a terrible tour.
It would have been a best of 3 as well.
Yeah,
is the other thing.
Maybe there's some reasoning. Maybe there's some further deep analysis there, but realistically for them,
I think it's very surface level.
Yeah, it's just like, we don't really want to play this game.
They are definitely not where they want to be.
Yeah.
Over close. Like, this is a team that always aims for majors, for TIs, and just being relegated. I don't think they care about being 7 or 8.
No.
I wouldn't read into it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you want... No, I'm joking.
No, we're going to move along and we're going to talk about this series. Nigma Galaxy Entity. I do know the draft is going to be starting soon. So we have to speed run a little bit of a chat about these 2 teams because Entity have been looking great too. They've been a little hit and miss, but overall they have been reining in what we've seen them overextend quite a few times. In the last series we saw them play, they really reined that in. They sort of calmed down and they looked fantastic.
No more dives on the tier 2s?
Okay, I wasn't going to say exactly, but yes. No more tier 2 diving. We didn't see that at all
Well,
from their previous series.
It's literally what they would usually say.
Yeah.
They would say, yeah, we're diving tier 2s a little bit too much. We're dying under the tier 2. We're taking fights that we shouldn't be taking. We're taking fights before we're ready to take them. And I can understand that because the drafts that they usually have are drafts that are super aggressive early on. Like you have these 3 semi-cores. You have Watson playing a Pudge or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's say Pudge, Invoker, on the offlane you have Nature's Prophet or a DP. Of course you want to be fighting. Of course you want to be diving all the time. Can't blame them. But when you rein in and when you have discipline with the draft like that, like you can slowly choke out the map and not give the enemies any chances of actually coming back.
And they did that in the series against Tundra. That was their previous one. But Enigma Galaxy, they won against Secret, which was off the back of their win against OG. So did they have the momentum, T-Gov? Are you favoring them a little bit in this matchup?
You know what? This is actually a series where I think it's so evenly matched that I don't have a favorite. I think Nigma sure has a bit of momentum, but I think draft comfort leans more towards Entity. I think Entity will be a team that should be able to understand the strengths of Nigma, which is primarily Sumo's activation to give everyone some playstyle. And Stormstormer, he's got a couple of these annoying mid laners that can threaten, and maybe Stormstormer, of all the mids in Europe, he might be able to muscle up against Sumo and actually try and go toe for toe, because we haven't really seen Sumo lose a lane yet.
The only thing that scares me a little bit for Entity, or something that I think they need to pay attention to, is that Nigma's tempo is very high.
Yep.
Sumail's laning is really good. They will always rotate there to help him. And Entity's supports are often very static, very slow. They can't help out there like too much, so if their lanes aren't good enough, or if one of the supports can't rotate mid, I think the game could break open a little bit for Nigma. But if we take a look at the bans, I think they banned out the Bad Rider with very high potential for them to potentially start with a first 2 Razor here. But there's another hero that they've usually banned when they pick Razor, and that's Brood. So Brood is in the pool if they go Razor here, which I think could be troublesome for Nigma.
It's something that Entity always bans out, which is weird, right? Like you actually pick up the tree, you let the Brood go through. Usually they ban out what Lina Brood. That's basically what you want in your first stage if you're Entity. What you want to see out, that is. But this time around they let it go through, and I'm wondering, will Nigma snatch it?
I mean, it's not really a hero that Nigma's been playing. The DPC, they've had first pick multiple times, haven't picked it, been banning it themselves when they are first pick. So if they are to play it, it would be a new thing that they bring into the series. And sure, there it is. Again, it's not like they shouldn't be playing it. Of course, MC's easily able to play it. It's just they haven't done it so far.
If you're Entity, you 100%
go on. Let's go.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You knew that the Brood was going to get picked. I assume you knew, so you already have a response ready and waiting, right? Like you have to. Maybe the Naga that we were talking about is still in the pool.
Pango. The Stormstormer Pango, yeah.
Okay. They were picking what? Were they the team that picked Naga and Undying all the time versus the Brood? No, actually it was Slark and Undying.
Yeah.
Right?
Slark, yeah.
They would answer with the Slark Undying. And many cases they would lose, but...
I feel like the more annoying hero out of the Brood and the Riki is the Riki. We've seen it grow in popularity, and it has been pretty difficult to deal with, I would say. And it also points out what you mean. The rotations coming out from Nigma Galaxy supports are pretty high, so now that they pick up the Riki as well, Kazum?
Yeah, I think this just goes to show, I think Entity, they need to address this in some point. Pango also, he's a great hero like in the game, but he's a hero that can be abused in the mid lane. And I mean, I've said it plenty of times, he's going to lane against Sumail. He's proven to be one of the best laners. So I think there's going to be some emphasis that you need to put there to kind of negate the pressure at least a little bit.
You have a living armor, perhaps. Like, that will be helping him out as well, right? Like, Stormstormer might be working with that. But overall, I'm still kind of shocked. Not shocked, but it's interesting that they ban out the Lash in the first stage. Like, teams have been picking up Lash quite a bit lately. I believe Nigma played it versus Secret as well.
Yeah, they did, and Sumail
owned.
Decimated with it.
Like, my point of view is, when didn't he decimate? Like, what hero did he not pick in which he didn't win the lane and do really well with? Like, Death Prophet 19-0 or 19-1-19, if you remember that.
Yeah. There's been a few Death Prophet games, though, that even if he wins mid, he's... Like, the rest of the team has really struggled to use that and to build momentum off of him winning mid.
It's also ban value, because when you think about IO, Nigma's only played it with the Leshrac, so banning out the Leshrac, a hero that they played with Darkseer, they played with IO, there's different drafts that have occurred with just the Leshrac compared to just the IO, and I think when you're already giving away a Brood as well as a Riki, you wouldn't expect Nigma to rush for the IO
as well.
So it's like, I think it's a high value ban just to take away the a bigger hero, basically.
And we mentioned 2 counters to the Brood in lane, and both of them got banned out. Like Naga banned out, Slark banned out.
Yep.
Is there a third one?
Depends what team you ask.
That's true.
I could see, like, I think some people still think, and I would agree, I think Monkey King is a good one.
Yep.
I've seen the Pudge kind of go both ways. I've heard now a few times that Brood is supposed to outtrade the Pudge, but then we've seen in some other games if the Brood makes any mistake and Pudge gets to Vanguard, then
Just
he just laughs in your face.
And you have Treant here as well. You've got some armor. Like getting a Pudge is definitely in Entity's wheelhouse. Like I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think Bloodseeker as well is an option for Entity. The issue is actually Nigma. They could maybe pick it out of the phase. They are first pick in the second phase, but I think for Entity, it's just have some more brawl, have some more strong independent lanes. Because when Katomi's playing his tree, he's always securing the off lane. And now if you have a little bit of kill threat on the safe lane, that's going to allow Stormstormer, if let's say mid doesn't go perfectly for him, he's going to rotate to lanes that are doing well.
And the hero that they had very often versus the Brood, the teams very often have on position 5, is Disruptor, right? And they ban out the OD, so OD in the lane would be strong, but also versus Disruptor, unless, like I saw your post, unless you buy the shard.
Ah, yeah.
Are you sure it's going to be Kataome?
Tree? I mean, I hope
I would
so.
love to.
Literally best in the world.
Yeah.
True.
True.
Could be both, but he's one of the best. I think for Enigma, in terms of their opening pick, Undying is kind of something that they've run all the time. Kuro just busts it out.
Both teams love it, yeah.
That's true. If it's against the 3-4, you would be very happy in the lane. There's also one pick that you talked about, the Bloodseeker.
Yep.
I think it's a bit scary that Entity didn't ban it, unless they're looking to pick it. You're playing against Amar, you have Pango yourself, enemy team, Nigma will close the next phase. I think that's a pick you need to be worried about, at least a little bit right now.
Yeah, I think it's a high value in the second phase. Entity, we didn't really touch on their bans, but they've secured Pango's lane at least. Huskar, Koro, we've seen Sumo Koro a lot. Against Pangolier, you just push out and have no cares. The speed that you play the map, you can outmove Pangolier as well. So they're just trying to secure Stormstormer's entry to the game. And I feel like right now it's either... Okay, they're going Marana. So does Entity
Ricky
value this
Marana.
Bloodseeker? Of course.
Yeah. Entity could pick it up as well, right? Like it would be horrible for them, but perhaps they have an idea how to play against it, even though you have a Pango.
You pretty much, against this Ricky, you need heroes that buy Lotus, or you have 4-stuffs and things just to disjoint that initial shard from the Ricky, the dart. And Pangolier can actually do that. You just go Diffusal Blade, Corrosion, into then like Blink Shard, Lotus Orb.
It
and
does
then you
feel
just enable
bad
your
though,
team.
like your mid laner is buying a Lotus.
Sure, it can feel bad.
It's
They
not
still
as
have 3
scaling,
picks.
Like you're not scaling as much, right?
Yeah,
But
you're not.
the other approach was OG's approach with an Omni Knight or something like that. But I don't see them having another defensive support. Like 3 is perhaps already too much.
They're probably eyeing some...
Oh,
Never
just got
mind,
Abaddon.
stand corrected.
Oh, let's
instantly.
go. All right.
It's not Omni Knight, but it serves the same purpose. Now you have an Abaddon. But my problem is, like...
This lane.
This lane first. Second, you still have to be around to use that Aphotic Shield. And what usually happens is, we saw it in the Omni Knight game as well, they just go on the Omni Knight. Why wouldn't they replicate that here as well? You just go on the Abaddon first.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in position every single time.
Yeah, Smoke Screen is going to be super disrupted for Abaddon. Of course, cast range being a melee hero, the cast range aren't as good as Omni Knight. But no, I like the fact that we are seeing teams pick up the old school big dispel heroes. I'm interested to see if Fishman's positioning is going to enable him in this game. And also an Abaddon lane against Broodmother. You need your carry to pretty much get you through it, and that's why they go for the Monkey King, something that doesn't always need the most help to survive, but Abaddon's going to just shove him through.
And it's always nice to have that saving kind of supports with Monkey. Like when Monkey came into the meta, you would always have these heroes that allow him to get off the Jingo stacks, to get off the ulti. So it was Oracle back in the day, Omni Knight. Now we see Abaddon as well. Pretty solid.
It's solid for the lane. I do think... So Abba Monkey, they have some strengths together, but also later I think it can be a little bit awkward because you don't always have the kill combo. I mean, Abaddon helps you get through the lane, which is fine, and it's, I mean, kind of good for the game, especially with Ember. Do think it's a very good Ember game. He lanes into Pango, he'll be fine. Not too many lockdowns.
He's
Sure,
unkillable.
Abba's a bit annoying, but
Yeah.
you have a lot of random stuff that Abaddon already has to deal with. So.
And no, just seeing 4 picks on both sides, I'm leaning towards Enigma quite a bit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the closure of the drafts, obviously. Maybe something surprises me, but it just feels better rounded. On Entity, you have 3 and Abaddon as supports. You're waiting for this Monkey to get to his items. Pango really needs, like Stormstormer really needs to have a good lane, and we all know how much Enigma pressure that mid lane with their supports.
Yeah, I think for Nigma, they have last pick in the draft. They can still go for an Ursa or something to be just super aggressive. It's not too great. It can get kited. You can even lean for some like Mars, Amar Mars or something. You just counter the monkey just through killing off the trees. Sure, Pango's your counter, but I don't think Nigma really care about having a traditional carry. They've shown it before, and Ember can fill that role through buying Desolator. But yeah, in regards to draft right now, Entity, they picked 2 supports that should secure lanes, but don't really provide damage in the early mid-game. And we're mentioning the aggression of Nigma. It's all about Entity kind of retreating from the fights and prolonging them, and letting Nigma overplay their hand, and then capitalizing that to kill them. Entity don't really have the heroes to go and seek the kill. So
The other thing is, Entity are going to have to be blindly picking into this lane matchup. Kezu, what could hold its place in off-lane, not knowing your carry matchup?
It's not easy. I'm also looking at their draft because there's a way where you can be very fancy. I know that Toby plays Pango. You could shift him off lane. You could put the monkey mid against the Ember. I don't know if you have another carry pick that would facilitate you doing this. Otherwise, it could be some...
They just get the Darkseer instead.
yeah.
That's fair. That's a fair pick.
It's fair.
Yeah, like it's fair for them, you know?
Yeah, it's chill. I mean, it's going to be a decent lane, some tree Darkseer, a lot of damage. It's going to give them a bit more mid-game fight, bridging the lack of
Some
enabling.
utility as well, right? Like it's pretty solid with the tree in the lane too.
All right, so now what's the Amar hero here that can bully a Darkseer in lane? And
I was going to say, is it going to be more of an off-lane hero or more of the traditional carry?
Is it a Sven for him? Maybe not the best into the monkey, but you can farm under the tower. There's
you like the
Sven,
Ursa?
Lifestealer, Ursa, and...
Ursa works.
yeah, Ursa, Sven, or Mars are the 3 that I think about for Amar now. Just anything that can push out the lane and have a stun for the team. Yeah,
They
sure.
go with the Sven.
Yeah.
I feel like the idea that I threw out wasn't because I thought it was the best one. It's just that
'Cause
they
it's
picked-
Amar.
Yeah, it's Amar.
I think
likes
he's
to play
very
Sven.
confident on it. Like, he has had some good performances, whether they win or lose.
And you can always farm under the tower with Sven. And Darkseer pushes in. Like it's quite simple for you to get those last hits.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you sit to the side of Nigma Galaxy for game number 1 then, Lizard?
I don't know. The Darkseer is fun. Like I really like what they did with the Toby Darkseer.
All right, then
Mix
let me
things
rephrase the question. Which team do you think you're going to enjoy watching more, whether they win or lose?
Oh, mate.
I feel like I'll enjoy Entity.
Like draft-wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen Ricky Mirana way too many times to enjoy that.
That's fair. That's very
I'm done with that combo.
I think both teams actually have like drafts that they want to play. They haven't been forced into awkward positions, so it's very even, honestly. Enjoyment-wise, I just love watching Amar play Sven, don't I? Just please, another Sven game, boss.
I'm gonna go with Nigma, both for fun and for draft. I think they're gonna
double whammy.
They're gonna get more kills. They're gonna run around. They're gonna slap their enemies with some brutes, some combos, and then Amar will come in and he'll cleave everyone to death.
Just one hit, the
He will
whole
do it.
5 dead. All right, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we get to that spot in the game. But for now, we're going to be jumping into game number 1 with our casters. It's Beakup and Lacoste.
Thank you very much. Coming into game number 1 of this final regular season matchup. I feel like tiebreakers are their own thing if they happen. So regular season matchup, it means a lot. Should be exciting. You've got Nigma on the up and up and Entity being their entity selves and looking pretty good. What do you feel about this first game, this first matchup?
Looking at the heroes, we do have 9 melee heroes out of 10, which is something that doesn't happen too often. And this is like 5 melee heroes into Monkey King, pretty much. 4 plus Mirana, you know. But yeah, Nigma, they have their own style of playing Dota. We've seen them adapting. We've seen them go for like untraditional carries. But this time around, it's going to be something more late game oriented. In this game, Mirana does have 2 heroes to play with once you hit that 15-minute short timing on Ricky with the Sleeping Dart Arrow combo and also with the Ember Spirit. But I want to see how much he's going to be able to get from this lane. Okay, so they are swapping things around. They will lane Sven plus Mirana. It's going to be Mind Control.
What's going... What? They're messing with Roche. I don't know why it's so funny, but I mean, they're just hitting Roche and bothering him this early in the game. I don't know what the plan is.
Good question. I don't have the answer. Maybe there's some, maybe if it's not a meme, I think it's a meme, but let's see. Maybe it has something to do with some kind of a scouting, but we'll see. I'm still not familiar. I didn't receive that email. I didn't get the email about the
Comes via
Roshan.
email?
Yeah.
Okay. Thought that was going to come via Telegram or something like that.
The battle begins.
Hero with cost. Stop. That's the telegram. So, just a couple of bounty runes going across the board, 2 for 2. Pretty simple.
So look at this bottom lane. Like if they laned Ricky plus Sven against Darkshire, that would be very bad. I still think they're gonna lose this lane no matter what. I don't think they have enough to kill heroes, especially since you have Treant Protector. We've seen Entity, like especially Kataomi, once he plays it, that this hero does so much. Like he is probably one of the best, if not the best Treant Protector 4 right now.
I would almost go as far as to say he's probably one of the best Treant Protectors all over, no matter the position. Just feels like he has played this hero to all of its strengths, and it's obviously a strong hero. It's been picked so many times in the DPC already.
Needs to be careful here. If he gets stunned into arrow, but he's doing a good job juking it and dragging the creep wave. Also blocked the small camp. There is also a sentry ward.
And dodges the arrow.
Mid lane, Stormstormer sitting at 2 CS, while King 5 and 2 already and has 3 creeps coming underneath the tower. He definitely knows the matchup really well.
Yeah, this is something we talked about when we watched Nigma, is just how well Sumail has been doing. It feels like he is definitely one of the top mid laners in the region. It is a strong fight between a couple mid laners who feel like they're securely at the top, but he is always in the discussion, and it just seems like he's never losing a matchup.
He's so consistent at it. Like, he doesn't lose the mid. He's the one that, against Team Secret, for example, 6 minutes into the game, 2K net worth ahead of the enemy mid laner. Oh, Hiroki jumping on Fishman. We didn't talk too much about the Baron, but this game they had, I think, if they wanted to go for a similar option, Omni Knight was available, but they decided to go with Abba. Abba a bit different than the Omni Knight because you can't really kill him straight away.
Right.
You can't just go on and use the cloud is going to be a big issue for them. But yeah, Stormstormer dropping low, does have Fairy Fire available.
But Kuroki's coming over, Blink Strike, and into the tower, and that will force Stormstormer to use that Fairy Fire. What's he got? He's got the bottle coming through on the courier, so he will sip as quickly as he can. At least that's what he wants to do. And I kind of like this from Kuroki, moving over a little bit, not just staying stationary in the lane, because Ricky kind of struggles to find his place pre-15 minutes before that shard.
He's strong in the lane. Like I've seen Ricky's do really well if they're paired up with a hero like a Darkshire that does enable him. And he can do some serious amount of damage early on. He's very annoying, but post 6 minutes until he gets his shard, he really doesn't do much.
Stormhammer onto Katomi, as he's sitting with 75 health at the moment, but right-clicking GH pretty heavily, and it looks like it will be first blood for GH, and he's able to leap away from the Darkseer, so Katomi just kind of stood there and fought, but that didn't end up working out for him.
Yeah, a bit surprised. They thought maybe they have enough with the Iron Shell, with the Vac back, but GH already level 2 there, so he can leap away if necessary. Amar getting a decent amount of farm from this lane. Does have 14 CS right now and does have a Stormhammer available.
I think a lot of people have talked about the question mark that is Amar in the safe lane, so...
Well, at one point, they're going to stun you.
and get the arrow, so GH is going to get another kill. This is a dirty combination with that Stormhammer arrow combo.
Try to go for a little ring around the Rosie, and maybe the creeps will block it, but GH with the leap finds a good angle. 2-0 for Nigma, and a 1K gold lead already.
Yeah, this team has seemed like they've made late improvements, right? And it's been...
They started late, they started mid-season. You could feel the team is actually improving by quite a lot. Their picks, the way they're playing.
I've been impressed with that because that's some veteran adaptability, right? Where sometimes you'll see teams kind of just fall over and curl up into a ball and be like, all right, get this 0-7 season over with. But Nigma's done really well, and Stormstormer again getting run back under the Tier 1 tower.
They need to help him out. He's sitting at 20 CS. Someone needs to refill his bottle. No one's even close to dying, but he's definitely struggling.
GH again hit the Leech Seed. Nature's Grasp coming through, but he does have a Leap Charge available. He won't have another one for 40 seconds, though, so maybe they could go on this Mirana again. But it's been a little bit difficult for them to find their hands on these heroes and secure the kills. Stormhammer into the arrow. The arrow actually ends up hitting Toby, so that'll keep them off Amar. And it's been a little bit of aggression from Entity, but in that one moment before, it did cost them when they ended up losing Katone.
A bit too aggressive. I think if they replayed this lane like 2 or 3 times, they would definitely got more out of that Darkseer +3. In terms of CS, Darkseer is doing pretty well. They did die 2 times. Watson on the top lane does have almost same amount of CS as the Broodmother. I don't think you can kill Monkey King here playing into 2 melee heroes and also having a Baton behind him. So very difficult task for Nigma. All they need to do is like try to get equal amount of farm on this Broodmother, get her levels, get her to level 6, and then start pressuring the towers.
Mid lane, Katomi's here looking at Sumail, but he's got a Remnant over to the side. Fishman, he's also in the mix. They've got
This is a big one
too, and they're unable to get the kill there onto Sumail, and he's going to go TP back, have a Remnant inside the river. Arrow doesn't land on a Fishman. GH and Kuroki now trying to get the kill out onto the Abaddon, but he's very hard to kill when he's got the mana to pop an Aphotic Shield and run away.
Yeah, Fishman did pick up a Region Rune. If Ember got that, then this matchup would be much more different. 800 gold lead already for Sumail in this mid lane. He did use the Remnant and TP'd back, a level 6 before Pangolier. Having that point in Searing Chains does allow GH to play with him and also stop the Pango's abilities from going off.
Kuroki's sniping a courier. We've seen Ricky's kill a whole bunch of couriers throughout the DPC season. So they're just sitting here level 2. And they're going to TP in this Abaddon because Fishman walked all the way back to base. He'll refill the bottle and immediately they smoke. So let's see what direction they're going to go over for as GH and Amar, they're pushed under the tower with a leap from GH to get away from Katomi, but they're bringing 2 more heroes, so this might get dangerous for Nigma.
This Ion Shell and constant body blocks.
Yeah, GH looking like he's just going to die here. They go to the Swashbuckle. They'll get the kill into Amar. They'll look for GH. He has another leap into the trees. Toby does not have a vacuum, and that will be the Mirana getting away, but they end up losing the Sven. Good kill for Entity.
This is the type of a lane that they're going to put a lot of pressure on because Sven, like in the laning stage, sometimes he's okay. Watson now in the top lane. In a bit of a trouble, but once he starts hitting back, has that living armor. But no Jingu proc with Boundless. So definitely looks like he's going to drop here. Broodmother is level 6.
Yeah, they've got the smoke screen now, and you can only right-click and steal so much health, but it's not going to be enough. Mind Control getting that kill into Watson. So that works out in their favor, and from there, Mind Control just... This lane seems pretty free for him to farm and maybe even take the tower, at least pressure it a whole bunch.
They don't have that hero that's just going to rotate there. Like, usually it's Treant Protector who is there inside the trees, but against the Broodmother, GH, he's out of leap charges.
That did again. So he'll go down. The Ion Shell starting to do a lot of damage here with the help of Katomi.
You don't want to lose a tower early on, especially when you have Treant, who does have 2 points in the living armor, but they will also do the same thing on bottom. Sven needs to fall back to jungle. Looking at some of the stacks, there are no stacks being made in the triangle for any of the teams. And Kataomi, and he just gets ton of farm on this hero every single time.
He's the one getting the tower there. That's uncommon.
It's in the team's name, Entity from Lord of the Rings.
Oh shit. Yeah, he always seems to find this farm, and I'm looking at his build. He's 1/2/2 right now. He's going to be taking the Overgrowth level 6. Sometimes we see him a little bit more in the Nature's Grasp, but maybe feeling the living armor being more of a priority, because we've seen him at times put living armor at just 1, and that's it.
I think more points in living armor this game. Leech Seed, mostly it's 2 points for the laning stage. Then you want to be split pushing, be on the side lane so you max out Nature's Grasp. Watson
getting to get that Jingu off and throws a Balance Strike. He'll be back up to full health. GH actually falling a little bit low. Do a Fishman nearby, and you can see Kuroki. The only thing on his mind is Shard. It's queued up. Get me Shard. And they'll have that sleeping dart to work with. My Control already took this tier 1 top, so he's going into the Guardian Greaves. We see this from a lot of off-laners.
Pretty standard nowadays, like even from position 4, sometimes even mid laners buy it. I've seen like Snapfire on the mid lane buy it a couple of times.
Vanguard for Toby.
Can disassemble that later on if necessary, but he's been, look, they're they're hunting Amar.
And they really don't want him to farm anywhere.
Does have Mask of Madness, 4 points in Great Cleave, so he can easily catch up now sitting in the middle of the pack.
Searing Chains, arrow, not going to hit the mark. But they've got the silence, they have the blink strike, now Toby.
With that Vanguard, he's way too tanky and extra living armor.
Whoa.
Kateomi faking the overgrowth.
He reached to the ground, he just didn't pull up to get those roots in. So, game sitting about even, a little bit quiet. 11 minutes in, only 5 kills. But seemingly very calculated from both teams. At least for right now, on what they want out of the first half of this game.
Looking at the itemization, Watson is going for Battle Fury, so it's not going to be that early-oriented Monkey King that joins the fight, so wants to be able to scale. Speaking of like the late-game scaling, if you go post like 40, 50 minutes, this lineup from Entity scales much better than Nigma. Sven hits his peak. Ember does scale, but also like Broodmother once she hits the 3-4 items. And Kateomi again, fake bumping it.
Just reaching down to the ground and not going for it, as it did get the tricks of the trade out of Croaky, so maybe if they had another way to control this Riki, they could have gotten that kill. Mid is just Sumail and throwing some slights over at Watson and Fishman, level 7 and 6. So Fishman holding a point, potentially going into the borrowed time if he needs it. We've seen this a lot with Abaddon. The few times we even see Abaddon, but when we used to, it feels like you hold that point.
Yeah, because it would get procced if he did have it now. So the first usage, you always want to save it. Same goes for Eon Disc. Sumail, again, picking up the Haste Rune this time around.
Heading towards top, but Stormstormer not exactly the easiest kill to get with the minimal lockdown they have at the moment. They just have Mind Control farming. Like I said, he's going to the Guardian Greaves. He's picked up that mech. So they have a little bit more sustainability here on the side of Nigma, but they aren't exactly pushing with the pressure that they can maybe put on these heroes at the moment.
Stormstormer, he's trying to farm some farm to finish off his Diffusal Blade. You see Mind Control splitting his spiders. He does not want to get those near Pangolier because he can kill it with the Swashbuckle. So just leaves it here, farms the jungle whenever it's available. Piranha did use ulti. They know something is up. Mind Control is showing on the lane, but let's see if they find Stormstormer.
Yeah, they got the scan, so they know that these heroes are there. Stormstormer hit with the slide. He goes into the Rolling Thunder. No, not yet. He's rooted up. Starstorm and Stormstormer. Swashbuckles away. Sumail healed up a little bit thanks to the mech from Mind Control.
That's Starstormer right there. It's very annoying. Only 1 point in Searing Chains. Once you get to start more points in it, it gets more difficult for Pango, and it's also a great setup for Morana's arrow. Game did slow down. As you said, 5 kills in 13 minutes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's definitely one of those games that's looking to hit a mark, and you can see the odds here, esportsbet.io, as, well, Nigma are currently the favorites. I don't know if you would agree with those odds, but it's looking pretty close, and, you know, esportsbet.io offering 50% first-time deposit bonus if you want to get in on the action.
Yeah, I think I would say Entity has slightly better chances. Like for now, Nigma, once they hit their timings, this is going to be Greaves plus this Echo Saber on Sven. They can start putting some more pressure. Like in terms of tower damage, it's Broodmother, and once Sven shows up with his ulti, like once he gets to his BKB timing as well, but it also opens up the Roche for them. In terms of like tower damage, you always need to have something with the Ember Spirit because he's not the one dealing the tower damage. This Deep Observer Ward scouting things out. Sumail is farming there, but Entity also lacking a bit of a damage right now because, as we said, Monkey is going for that Battle Fury build, so he's not being active. Then you have Treant Protector, Abaddon. Like this support duo is not really good at ganking, and I've seen it a lot of the games where Entity's playing where it's a slow start for them, but they always make it work.
Ooh, committing to the Rolling Thunder. GH has a leap charge still available. He's trying to juke from high ground to low ground, and he's done that perfectly.
Is he up? Is he down? Fishman still holding a point for borrow time if necessary.
Diesel Blade used now, this time on Mind Control, using that inhibit to slow down Mind Control. Did the same to GH a moment ago, but that didn't get anything, and this arrow will miss it all. Guardian Greaves now finished for Mind Control, and they're going to go into the Moonlight Shadow once again.
I'll be right back, just grabbing my stick so I can poke them to do something. It's been 7-8 minutes without a single kill, and 15 minutes. It's time. Karo just got that sleeping dart.
It's time for some sweet dreams, and they're going to try to be the Sandman. They've got the Sleeping Dart into the arrow. That's the combo that we have been alluding to.
And just kidding. Treant way too tanky to kill him. They need to bring a core. And also, Fishman showing up. We see the value of this living armor maxed out now. Especially because like all 3 cores are physical damage dealing cores.
Another dart arrow combo. But nothing doing. They're just showing off the combo. They're like, hey, you're going to be seeing this a lot. Oh. Overgrowth. Doesn't grow on anybody. It's not like beards. So, Mind Control just walking away here from Stormstormer, and so will GH. Got a couple heroes up towards top as... what's in our future? What does the program call for as time goes on? It looks like they want Stormstormer. They do have a double damage, but will they get there? They might. Roll up. Nicely done.
He just brought that shard, so this is his way of protecting himself against the arrow, against this combo. Even if he sees the Sleeping Dart, he can't dodge it. Like, the travel speed on Sleeping Dart is not that great. Ice Frog, if you're listening, buff that spell. Definitely.
Okay. Chat, agree? Maybe? Philosopher's Stone, that's always the one you want to see if you're support.
Especially in a game like this, when nothing's happening, value from Philosopher's Stone is so good.
Those stonks go up.
Yeah, big stonks. Fishman using Seeds of Serenity on a mid lane.
Big fan.
Underneath the tower, getting some extra heal. And we've seen Kataomi time and time again farming on this bottom lane, getting his items. He just finished off his shard, so extra root coming out from his attacks.
So he'll have that. He's going into the Blink Dagger next, and he shows off the shard, doing some decent damage to Amar, honestly, by himself. And then we'll get a rotation out of Kuroki bottom. We've got the Moonlight Shadow used. Kuroki will search, but he's not going to find Kataomi as he's deeper into the trees. We'll be showing him vision for a second. But they've also brought over Watson, so maybe a little bit of a bait.
I like this.
Sleeping Dart.
I didn't mean I like that, but let's see.
I don't know, you were asking for a buff on Sleeping Dart just a moment ago.
Kataomi.
Blink Strike, Wukongs, there it is! Overgrowth on a 4 with a Ballast Strike on 3! They get GH to look for Amar. Toby with the vacuum back into the Ion Shell, and there is 2 kills for Entity.
This is going to be a huge combo throughout the
play.
whole game, and also, we mentioned it, like, Monkey King is farming with the Battle Fury, so he can match up Sven's farm by matching. He's the most farm hero in the game right now, going into Manta style next, so he can dodge things. Very nice. I always love some good Manta dodges.
Ooh. Big Manta dodge fan.
I love when players Manta dodge tournament wins. This is my favorite.
Yeah, they get the 2-0, and all of a sudden they get reverse swept. That is a harsh feeling. You know, that's honestly, we were talking about good Twitch names. Manta Dodge Enjoyer.
Oh yeah, the Enjoyer nicknames.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say about, you know, what I like is this item build on Toby, Crimson Guard. Not an item we see a lot of the times, but against this lineup from Nigma, we already mentioned that they do have a lot of physical. So against Broodmother, against Sven, against this Ember Spirit, it's a lot. So now inside the Roche Pit they go. They already poked Abaddon's ulti.
Yeah, they have put him to sleep twice. He's got a little bit of the narcolepsy going on.
Can they go inside a pit. Seems like it's not gonna happen. Mind control tanking with his spiders. So Amar made the slot, but will not pick up the Aegis for now.
I thought that was mine. Slight comes in, pops the Aphotic Shield on Stormstormer. They've got a lot of heroes here for Entity. It doesn't look as though that they
this
really
is a big
want
one.
to fight.
Stormstormer does have Arcane Rune. They know that Sven most likely used ulti for this Roche, otherwise they would not have damage. With the combo again.
Yeah, Overgrowth into the wall. They go to the Moonlight Shadow, but it's not going to keep Kuroki alive, and they'll already use the Aegis on Sumail.
Can he, he's going to connect.
Yeah, they've got the Rolling Thunder. They'll pump him
And
up
the
into
root.
the air again. They've got the root from the Shard on Katomi.
What
They get a second
beautifully
kill.
executed combo. Stormstormer, perfect execution. Rolls. Times that Aegis perfectly. Now they wish they gave Aegis to Amar.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yeah, that
Usually, I'm just
retrospect.
kidding. You don't want to give most of the time to your Svens because they are like transformation heroes, especially if you don't have ulti. Now Fishman.
Radiant's middle tower has
GH
fallen.
getting low there.
This is the type of Dota Entity plays. It's like very annoying to deal with. They do have a late game secured, and looking at Watson's farm, it's getting bigger and bigger. Almost 12k. 21 minutes into the game. Manta style finished. Is going for the BKB next.
Yeah, Entity, they play this kind of, like you said, annoying game. I was a little bit surprised, though, because their laning wasn't like they usually play. It feels like their laning is hyper-aggressive. And this game, only 9 kills up to this point. It definitely didn't follow the normal score that we see from them, where they're forward in the lanes and attacking on all fronts.
There are games where they have a bit of a slower start because they are the ones that pick these like slower position 4s, so they can't really put that much of a pressure. But usually it's the Stormstormer who makes the moves. But this time around, the game has been pretty static. He was the one trying to get back into the game, considering the bit of a slower start
Are scanning.
in the laning stage. Dire, they're using a scan, didn't connect, but they want to take a fight. Amar does have a BKB.
But there's the blink with the Rolling Thunder. They'll go to the Wukong's command, and he's just going to BKB and walk out of it. They weren't able to get the Overgrowth, but they will find GH, so ends up being Wukong's and Rolling Thunder for just the Mirana, which Nigma's okay with.
Monkey could have stunned him there, but I guess they thought Kataomi's close by to be able to use Overgrowth as soon as there's a BKB pop on this Sven. So committing with the Wukong's command, I don't think too much of value was lost. They did kill this mid-tier 1 tower. They also took off the Aegis.
Sweeping Dart. Doesn't feel like it's doing them much good with this Riki. They've got the Dust, the Blink Strike back. They're trying to get away. Both these heroes are invis because they've got an invis rune on Sumail. Sleight of Fist. Now Moonlight Shadow is going to be used too, but that's not going to get Kuroki away.
Yeah, Koriki goes down one more time. They just don't have enough damage, especially with the build that they go for. Guardian Greaves plus Crimson Guard. This Darkseer's massive. Dragon Scale for tanking things up. Any armor item that can buy is high value. And then you have maxed out living armor that you can put on 2 targets. So very like you can't kill Abba. He's also going for Holy Locket, so even more heals coming out from him.
It's a little bit worrying when you see the lack of damage coming in from Nigma, right? Like, they can't kill these heroes right now. It's going to be hard for Amar, even with the farm that he's getting, to get into these fights. I feel like with BKB, especially once Blink's available on Katomi, the object of the game is just, if you see his BKB, you blink Overgrowth on him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's his only job, and key, especially during the Wukong's command. I'm really worried how they are going to be able to kill Watson. They did kill him one time in the laning stage, but now with all this auras, all this saves, living armor, the Crimson that we mentioned, and also having Treant Protector to back you up, getting extra armor from Wukong's command, I don't think they can kill him.
They've done a good job on Nigma, at least to kind of avoid the aggression that's coming in from Entity. Like, they've only given up 8 kills, and I think that's kind of something to look at in a plus way. But it's definitely them needing a lot of time to find the items and the damage to get these kills. And they have found Mind Control. They've got the vacuum back. They'll look for the Wukongs once again. He goes into that river area and is able to escape the grasp of Entity. And again, they avoid losing another hero, the same way they've done a couple times before. Get the Courier too, and these heroes on Entity start to retreat. Mind Control's got a couple of webs down. They'll find the Rolling Thunder of Stormstormer to come right at them. But Guardian Greaves, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, they'll lock up the Darkseer for a moment. Toby surging back. And they still haven't gotten any of these kills. They just don't have the damage for the moment. They'll Sweeping Dart onto the Abaddon. They'll wake him up immediately. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. There's the Guardian Greaves once again. Fishman has an Aphotic Shield on himself, and he is quite tanky for a 5 position. And Nigma just kind of
They just
poking.
Yeah, they don't have enough. They can't really kill a hero immediately, especially if Entity shows up with numbers. And now it's time to strike. You see this Hex plus Arrow, but still immediately this...
Blink Overgrowth, that's the new Blink for Katomi. They've got the Silence Zone on a 3. That smoke screen maybe saving Sumail there because he had all these heroes on Entity around him.
Big smoke screen. A lot of value from this one against Fango, against Abba, so they can't use their abilities. And we've seen a lot of these early gem pickups. Fishman wants to be able to get one. See this Ricky, who's been not as annoying as we see him because of this Abba pick, so they can't really go for these solo pickoffs. And Entity has been holding the hands together for the last couple of minutes. Even a Lotus Orb on Stormstormer, I love that pickup. To be able to remove the Searing Chains, also great against the Hex if you precast it. Like we didn't talk about Mind Control Hex. It's a good pickup, but in this game against Abba, it just doesn't seem as good.
Mind Control giving away a little bit of the info on that Roach
Oh,
time.
that's a good opening.
That's a good Storm Hammer. They'll get the kill on a Stormstormer. And borrowed time will allow him to TP out. They get a kill on a Stormstormer, which is pretty big. They haven't been able to get their hands on anybody, so getting one of anything, especially when it ends up being the Pangolier, is quite nice. Boundless Strike, Wukong's again, this time on Mind Control. They've got the Hex, but here comes Katomi. He's out of the Wukong's command, so Mind Control himself is able to just walk out, and that's thanks to that Hex you mentioned a little while ago.
And also dispelling that root with the Guardian Greaves immediately. So yeah, Nigma in the last couple of minutes, they are trying to make these fights happen. Look at Kuroki.
Arrow, that lands. Fishman's going to need to give an Aphotic Shield, but they still have the Searing Chains. Now do they have the lockdown? They go to the Mantle from Watson, vacuum into the wall, into the Boundless Strike, killing off Kuroki, and Sumail with a Sleight of Fist. He's doing a lot of damage with the Maelstrom. He's right in between 4 of these heroes. Leech Seed, Sleight of Fist once again. Not enough damage, though. Sumail will fall, and the arrow won't connect. So GH, he's in trouble trying to TP out. He was inhibited just a second ago with the Diffusal Blade. So, well, with the Rolling Thunder and Watson over to the side, they'll get the kill and a little bit of anti-synergy as Stormstormer taking away Watson's tree.
It was close. It was very close. You can see the damage output that this Ember does with Maelstrom and full Kaya and Sanj. 6,000 damage. If there was a follow-up from Sven, I think now they have enough damage. Like if Sven pops the ulti with the Mask of Madness, BKB, but you see the power of Entity's lineup using the Holy Locket, Living Armor, multiple Aphotic Shields, removing the Hex, and also Monkey getting that Jingu proc into Boundless Strike, goes back to almost full HP.
Wondering if Fishman wants to grab that Psychic Headband they just had drop, because then he can Aphotic Shield from a little bit further away. We'll see who ends up grabbing that. And let's see, the timer is up. Roche is up. That was a quick one.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. 4 staff picked up for the Dark Seer. Again, that is just to try and get out of the smoke screen from Ricky. I think they have done a good job with laying down those smoke screens. They've also got a 4 staff of their own on Mirana. So, GH, he had helped the Broodmother a couple times in Mind Control to get away from some of these fights from Entity. And they're going to
with a smoke. This is the gem pickup that we talked about. Stormstormer is the one holding it for now. Scan from Nigma Galaxy. They know exactly where someone from Entity is. Snail being the front line. There is Blink available in Sven this time around, so he's ready to jump in and follow up with the damage.
He used that to break the smoke, and then he remnanted away. It gives him confirmation of where Entity was, and it allows him to just escape that. Nigma were holding their ground, but Sumail not coming back, so they're not going to fight on the high ground.
They see Sumail with the ward, and they also see Broodmother. Mind Control might be in trouble.
Moving forward, and Katomi trying to get through the trees quick enough where they can get their hands on a Mind Control. These heroes are starting to come back for Nigma.
Watson holding that double damage. This is pretty huge in bottle for another almost full minute. Going into Bastard next to level 19. We've seen also Darkseer picking up his shard, so some extra damage from that surge. I still don't know what to think about this shard upgrade. Definitely love the punch way more. It looked a bit too strong for the cost, so now it's the other upgrade.
5-minute smoke again. So they're going to try and go one more time. They've got Watson in the trees. He's still with that double damage. He'll activate it now. Will they see anybody? Ward in the back, the arrow thrown over, not going to land on anybody as they've got KuroKy here to break some smokes. And again, these heroes on the side of Entity just not confident in going for this fight. They step in a Rosh. They see that this second Rosh is available with the Aegis and the Shard. So who will make the first move? Right now, at least, it doesn't look as though Entity is going to be the one going into the pit to try and take this Rosh.
With that double damage, they have a zoning tool as well. If they pop Wukongs before it dies, Mind Control scouting things out
Smoking
with his spiders, but they're going to smoke.
They've got the defusal. It's on to Ricky, the 4-staff back. That's from GH, but KuroKy dies so quickly. And now they've got the root, the vacuum back. They get a kill on a GH. They'll take out 2. So Entity should be right back into the pit.
One buyback available. That's on Kuro, but I don't think it's enough. I think they need to let this one go. Kuro buys back. He's pinging out that ward on the high ground that's been sitting there for almost full 3 minutes, and they just smoke underneath the ward.
Yeah, they ping up the ward, but they're still going to go. They're going to break the smoke. Now they're going to go in. They've got the side of Searing Chains in the smoke screen, but they got the borrowed time. They'll go to the Hex. Overgrowth used. That roots up Amar. Side of Fist coming in again from Sumail. They'll go to the Wukong's command. Watson trying to zone out these heroes. Amar walks out of the circle, so does Sumail over to the side. They've got KuroKy, though, in their sights. They'll drop down the wall, but Stormhammer is going to be enough to get a kill up towards top. It is to get Fishman, but is that enough here for Nigma to go for Rosh?
What a godly timing on that Hex on Monkey King. He was ready to initiate with the Wukong's command and the follow-up with the Treant Protector, but he was forced to use Overgrowth immediately after Swen popped his BKB without the Wukong, so not a full combo there. Fishman now with the buyback, so both supports buying back. Now inside the Rosh pit without God Strength. Is there enough damage?
Without Wukongs, without the wall, do they have enough? They're going to sleep Stormstormer. He dreams of an Aegis. As Mind Control with webs here now in the pit, he's able to just go in and out as he pleases. This ward is still here, and it's still granting them vision or info, really saying, hey, Nigma's not deep in their triangle. They're actually towards the north end of it, and they know where they're at.
So they will place an Observer ward up there, kill the enemy Observer. So right now, Entity, they have all the vision. Nigma trying to go from different direction. These spiders are very annoying. They see Roshan is dropping low.
Arrow
again with the ulti.
But blinks backwards away from the Rolling Thunder from Stormstormer. They go to the BKB. They've got themselves Sumail locked up for a second. Can he get out of this one? The Wukongs, they'll get the Aegis up from Mind Control. He snatched it. Sumail still dies, but how? Everybody was there.
There's way too many roots.
They're still looking to go for more. The God
Sumail.
Strength is still going to be there. They'll go with the Remnant forward from Sumail, coming back in with the buyback. They've got 5 minutes on this Aegis, so they do have themselves a second life under the Broodmother. They'll go for
damage from Monkey.
But look at the damage. They get the kill out of the Ricky. They look over at Amar. Amar's getting low. They've got Katomi over to the side. He's trying to get into the trees to get in the root, but they get the kill on Amar. They'll take out Watson. Down goes the Monkey King. Katomi on the run. Remnant forward. Sumail back with a second life because of that buyback. Is able to get a double kill afterwards.
Big fight for Enigma Galaxy. They needed to use one buyback before on KuroKy, and now, like, even Sumail. Like, look at the damage in that fight. Sumail's damage, 10,000 damage.
Oh my god, almost as much as Entity combined.
Like, every single time with the while Fire Remnant is down, like his shard, the snatch.
Sumail comes in and he just gets hit by Rosh. Rosh with the assist. But Mind Control walks in and just has an Aegis, even though 3 heroes are there from Entity.
Sumail bought so much time for him to do so, and usually you don't expect this kind of a buyback to come in, because Rosh fight is already, like, damage has been done. Mind Control did pick it up, like, you can't get Aegis from it later on, and you can still see the damage from this Ember Spirit. It's really a lot. And what's he going next? Almost full Aghanim Scepter done on Sumail.
Watson just unable to survive these Hex usages coming in from Mind Control. The fact that he went Guardian Greaves straight into the Hex has been big for them. Hex again, Nullifier, throwing onto Stormstormer. Shield crash onto the low ground, goes to the Swashbuckle.
A bit of a lag. I could have felt it. Yeah, Monkey disconnected.
Well, that's not good.
And he does have a full Nullifier. This is huge. This is massive. Because you can dispel Aphotic Shield, you can dispel Overgrowth, you can dispel Surge, Ion Shell. you can dispel Monkey King. Like, this is a huge pickup.
Yeah, he just got that after the hack, so he's been working on that for a little while. It just came to him, and he tried to use it on Stormer to get the kill there.
You can also dispel a shield. There's so many things you can dispel in this game.
Especially on, like, when you're talking about dispelling that shield crush, like, that's one of those spells, especially at level 4, that makes you feel so confident in these fights, right? You landed on a couple heroes, you're like, all right, I could eat a bunch of damage. Well, now, if it gets dispelled, trouble.
And now with that Aegis mind control, he's very annoying.
Yeah, he is. Really aggressive.
He knows that he's tanky enough. He's sitting at, what, 37 armor with his item build. Nullifier, you get some. You get some from the Guardian Greaves. And, of course, the Wraith Band. Sumail trying to farm that Aghanim Scepter that we mentioned. Just 2 creeps away.
Yeah,
Radiant
almost
are
there.
scanning.
And Amar wants the Satanic, and then looking at a Butterfly, so he's going to disassemble that Mask of Madness in a Satanic Butterfly, getting the Quarterstaff for the Butterfly, the Morbid Mask, of course, for the Satanic.
The good old combo.
It's the disassembled God King special, except it's not Sanjin Yasha.
So Monkey, he is holding the shard from Aegis still, thinking about whether he wants to use it or if they want to give it to someone else, because Abba doesn't have it. I think he should just pick it up for himself, because the others do have it. Pango bought one, so did Darkseer and Treant Protector.
Killing Sumail would be massive because he bought back. His death timer is going to be 100 seconds, so they know where he is. They've got the Overgrowth. They'll go to the Wukong's command. A wall right on top of Sumail in the vacuum back, but he gets a Remnant away. A Remnant back in because the rest of the team is looking to wrap around and go for a fight. They just use Wukongs. They just use Overgrowth, and they drop the wall. Why not?
They need to fall back. They need to wait for another minute and a half for their abilities to reset. This Kaya Sanj giving him extra status resistance, so you need to be careful how you're using your abilities. You might get tricked by the duration of it. Now Amar on the hunt.
Toby.
He's pinging it out. Toby, he leaves the trail. They know that he's there.
Ooh. TP's out anyway. So there he goes. Everybody's out.
If you're running away like that, you need to disable that that surge so they don't know where you actually are.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Surge
attack.
units leave behind a 150 radius trail. Give yourself up for 7 seconds, basically.
Dire's middle
Unless
tower
you're
is
running
under attack.
in the circle and then you blink out, so they don't know where you are.
Basically using the move from The Shining.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So Sumail forward, Sight of Fist, Searing Chains. That locks up and roots up this Darkseer for a second. But the arrow lands,
Sleeping
it's on
tree.
the Fishman. So they've got the stun. They'll look over as the BKB's going to be popped by Watson now. Look for the Wukongs, bumping him up into the air with the Rolling Thunder as well as the roll-up. They've got mind control, but they can't keep him in the circle. Now Sumail with a Remnant over to the side. Arrow doesn't land again, and the damage from both teams, nobody dying.
Entity is so tanky this time around. Like, we see the power of their draft. There was no Overgrowth available, and also Aegis was still on mind control, so now with the next Overgrowth, with the next Wukong's command.
That was close. Sorry, fake out. So, mind control still with these webs in the mid lane, over to the side. Really helping him get a position to go in with this Hex, and he's got that Nullifier we talked about. He's going into the BKB. They'll put this Stormer Pango to sleep as well as get an arrow. They've got the Nullifier as well as the vacuum into the wall. They go to the Overgrowth. Can they get the kill to Sumail? The Balance Strike out of 2. Kuroki's in trouble. Katomi's right there with the Sight of Fist coming in as the Remnant goes to the back lines. Now back over towards his team. Stormer rolled up on that as the arrow, whoa, short.
That Spider scouting things out. Nigma, they understand that they can't just like use everything on a target, so they initiate with the Sleeping Dart into Arrow, forcing Fishman to use Aphotic Shield, and Mind Control is there to use Hex immediately afterwards, so they can't dispel that one.
Using these Fire Remnants from the Ags with great force, but still not enough. Coming through from Sumail. It's actually sitting 5th on the net worth. as Watson is up at the top, over 6,000 gold lead
Yeah,
on Amar.
Mind Control has had a really good game. He didn't die a single time. There was a game where he was playing Lycan in a losing game. He didn't die for like 40 minutes. And his itemization, I think, is really on point this time around. He's the one also trying to be damage dealer. He wants to be able to scale, holding onto Enchanted Quiver, going into BKB next. Understand that their lineup might slow down, because in terms of damage, your Mirana, your Riki, they're not going to be able to scale compared to the position 5s on Entity, especially this Treant Protector. He's almost there. Going into that refresher, yep.
Yeah, he's got 10,000 net worth, doing a lot here with his typical Treant farm. Borrowed Time's going to be popped. They go to the Noble Fire as well as the Hex from Mind Control on a Fishman. Looking like a fish out of water at the moment as he gets killed off by Sumail. They go into the Wukong's command with the wall down. They get Amar so quickly. And now, without the Sven, do Nigma even want to fight?
Fishman immediate buyback. Amar way too deep in there. He knows that even if he like pops a BKB, Kataomi has his number. He has this one job.
Boundless Strike. Storm Crafter up in the air. Now a Remnant back. They look over at Roche once again. Toby with the vacuum. It's on to 2. And Kataomi goes in with the overgrowth. That also lands on both Kuroki as well as Mind Control. They've got the Swashbuckler. They get the kill on Kuroki. They'll go over at Mind Control. They've got themselves a second. That's a third, including Amar in the previous engagement. And they're going to find a
the
fourth.
shard.
There's GH going down.
Yeah, they found a really good opening. Amar committing heavily to kill this position 5 Abaddon, kill his old teammate, and yeah, not really paying off in the end. Entity, they figure out that they have what it takes. Like, their chase potential is really, really good.
Yeah, you talked about that Monkey King shard for a split second. It shows right there its strengths, right?
Yeah, because Kataomi knows that there's no Sven, so he can use the overgrowth on other heroes as well. And yeah, that shard pickup that Watson got from second Roche coming in handy here. Some big items on Entity in the next 2 minutes. Refresher on Treant Protector and also Darkseer with the Hex. Like, this is going to be their way of controlling this Ember Spirit, and there's no save. Other than the Force Staff, they can't really save him.
Not really a shard we see picked up too often, but...
on Monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to buy that.
Yeah, you want to get that for free. Otherwise, forget it. But now Roche, a minute and a half away. That's going to be third Roche. Nigma, you know, it's a 12,000, 13,000 net worth lead here for Entity, but it does always feel like Nigma's on the cusp of winning fights, right?
It looked like it, but if Entity executes what they have, it's very difficult for Nigma. You see, Monkey, he already prepared for potential Butterfly. He bought his own KB, Monkey King Bar.
He's just his own King Bar. Yeah.
And it's great against the Smokescreen. It's great against Silken Bola.
Yeah. That level 4 Smokescreen with a 75% mischance rate is ridiculous. Especially when you get the level 10 extra radius.
Level 10 and level 15 is why Riki is picked. The almost permanent cooldown and also big AoE on that cloud.
Yeah, it'll be only down for a second if used with that cooldown reduction. So, 14,000 net worth lead. Entity have the right idea. Let's go for Roche when it comes back up.
Ooh, full overwhelming blink on Pango. He's super tanky. He's sitting at 2.6k HP, sitting at 50 armor, which is 75% physical resistance at the moment. It can be dispelled, the living armor that is, and also the shield crash that we mentioned with that nullifier. But for now, let's see Roche. It's going to spawn right now. Mind Control already in the pit with the Spiderling. It's Ags. Oh, it's the best one. I feel like most of the time it's Refresher, because Aghanim seems so much more powerful. Refresher, you have it for one fight, but the Aghanim Scepter, you keep it permanently.
You know, you say that, but I was thinking the exact opposite. I thought it was Ag's Blessing most of the time, but I also think double damage is every route. Kuroki in trouble, goes to the tricks of the trade. Blink Strike to get away. The Boundless Strike, now they're on top of Sumail, but a Remnant the other way. They've got the Hex out on a Watson for a second. Rolling Thunder's going to be down. So will the Overgrowth. Waymere. All right, nothing doing.
Entity will definitely love to drag this one just to have that Overgrowth. So if they can wait for another full minute, Refresher very close. 300 gold away. Kataomi needs to find the farm. It's one creep wave, one neutral camp, pretty much.
Yeah, he's got a creep wave coming in, and He's level 20. Has that extra living armor bonus.
Yeah, it gets
creeps.
ridiculous.
He's so optimal around the map as a 4-position Treant. Like, it's hard not to gush over how well he plays this hero.
He definitely invests his gold, buys that refresher instead of keeping it so he can initiate, and they might need to be able to take care of him in a fight with one aphotic shield or with the Force Staff so that he gets the second overgrowth in a fight. Amar does have his Satanic, so that's a way of dispelling things, so doesn't need to use a BKB. Getting very close to Daedalus, I think he actually has the money to buy it, so a lot of damage coming out from him. Problem is he going to be able to hit?
Because he jumped in for Fishman in that last fight that happened where Entity are standing right now, and he ended up dying very quickly. I don't think he even had a chance to get the Satanic off. So he needs to be very careful, because he can be the damage dealer, and down 11,000, like, that's certainly doable here for Nigma. With the damage that they have, the options that are around them with the Hex and everything, and having the Sleipnir and the Ags, and the damage that Sumail is able to output, like, the fights are doable. It's just about executing the right way for Nigma against this lineup, and it's going to get even tougher because there's the Refresher Orb of Katomi.
Yeah, and also a sight on Darkseer that was picked up, plus holding a Timeless Relic, so that's over 4-second duration lockdown that they can't really dispel. So that's a big issue.
So they're by Roche. They're smoked up as a team.
Monkey also getting very close to his level 25. The extra Wukong's command ring. The fight just gets more and more difficult for Enigma Galaxy.
They need to go now. This is not a Roche that's going to last too long, but they've already set up on the side of Entity. They've got the Spiderwings going in, so they see this. They have the vision. They have the intel that they need. Arrow flies across, Remnant over, and now let's see what they can do.
Mind Control wants to scout things out. He does have a BKB, so he will be the one providing vision inside the pit.
Sleipnir lands. It's only on a Stormer. They've got the Darkseer over the side. They're going to go with the God Strength. They go to the Overgrowth from Katomi, though. That lands on a couple of these heroes. They go to the Wukong's command. Amar needs to survive on this one. He goes to the Lotus Orb. Now he's trying to the ground on a Fishman. But Rolling Thunder used by Stormer. They're in a Roche. Look at the Aegis on a Sumail. But they look over at Amar, who's going to be killed off by Stormer. They got themselves their hands on the Aegis. They're going to get the kill here on the GH as well. Up over, though, is Stormer. They've got the smoke screen down. They get the kill. They get the gem out of the hands of Stormer as well as the Gleipnir is going to down on 2 of these heroes. Mind Control, though, vacuum back into the wall. Sleeping Dart doesn't do anything for them. Mind Control gets over the cliff. They've got the Hex on a Sumail. He's got an Aegis to work with, but he's caught up on this cliff.
They can't get to them. They're on the cliff.
He needs to go to another spot, and he's going to Remnant down, but they've got themselves the root coming out for Katomi. They'll look over at Sumail, who uses that Stormcrafter, but it's not going to be enough.
Abyssal is available.
They'll look for the Abyssal. They go to the Sleep. Oh, they give him a chance to slide a fist, but still, they've got the Abyssal. They have the Hex. The smoke screen is down, and they'll have Mind Control over the side, but Sumail, he's going to eat the cheese. He's going to get back to full health. They'll slide a fist run again as borrowed time from Fishman, keeping him alive. Gleipnir on to 3. Katomi again looking over at Kuroki. They've got him back. They'll get the kill on to Sumail, and now they'll look over at Kuroki and take out this Riki.
They invested everything. They tried to, like, Sven used his BKB, uses his Satanic, dispels both of the Overgrowth, then gets Hex afterwards, deals almost no damage whatsoever. But the only casualty pretty much there is the Stormer. Like, yeah, looking at Sven's damage, it's like 1.6k. That's literally nothing. But this Monkey, he's been taking care of the business in the previous fight.
It's Sumail that, if he's just not focused the way these fights are going, he does so much damage. He did 18,000 damage in the last fight, but he's just not getting, and he did kills.
80,000 damage so far in the game compared to Sven's 10,000 damage.
Yeah, isn't Sven the damage dealer?
Well, not in this one. Ooh, double damage. Speaking of the damage, just spawned bottom.
Now doubling that damage. Yeah, give it a Katomi. I'm down with that. Oh. That is Boots of Travel level 2 here. On Pango, they'll find Mind Control. They have the Abyssal, the Rolling Thunder, and Mind Control is dead.
He can play with Treant Protector. He can initiate from the fog, one root mechanic, he TPs, and then gets on top of him. So another basher. Very difficult Sven game playing into these BKB piercing abilities, into Wukong, like the carry-to-carry matchup. Not really great for Sven either. The very interesting item build that I see on Watson. Ooh. He wants to get the Arcane Blink. So almost instant Wukong's command. You don't you reduce that cast time. So that's pretty big.
Radiant's middle tower is
Like-
under attack.
In terms of the net worth, it went down because Entity was up by 11, 12k and now down to 9k, but the game feels almost impossible for Nigma to win. They need this Sven to be able to deal damage in the fights. They can't just rely on Ember Spirit to do it.
Yeah, it went down because I believe the Ag's Blessing was put onto Mind
Oh
Control.
yeah, that is correct. So having that spinner snare, could have they gotten it to someone else?
I think in the hectic fight, they just didn't even want to risk it. They just activated it and went.
Because Sumail already has one on Marana. His mass same goes for one on Ricky. Maybe the one on Sven could have been okay, but I also don't mind this one.
Mar top. BKB and Moonlight Shadow, but Stormstormer has
He does have a gem.
So Amar now no longer has a BKB, and he's dead.
Man, the Stormcrafter procced his Blink Dagger, so he was not able to blink out.
That's unfortunate.
Coming in handy.
Oof, and the tips. Tips aplenty. Sending a message. What? Tree just got an A on this too. I don't know. I need to watch just Katomi's play.
Did he buy the book for himself? Because I think he should be try getting that level 25 on Treant. Overgrowth Undispel. Like this level 25 talent is pretty ridiculous. If you can get to it, usually we don't see level 25 Treants. Full refresher on Sumail. He wants to be able to have almost unlimited remnants, especially if he starts to get the kills.
How can they kill Watson? Gonna be tough. Ooh. Boundless Strike, jumping to the edge. They'll go for Sumail, but they've got the BKB gonna be used here, and now think about going to the Wukong's command. Stormcrafter up into the air. Sumail now rooted. Thanks to the Overgrowth coming out for Katomi. Nobody did just yet. The Remnant forward. Now thinking about going to the Overgrowth once again. Katomi, though, missed it this time. They've got the Hex, they have the Bashes, and now Sumail's gonna be in a lot of trouble. They get the kill. He'll take him out for 100 seconds. Amar vacuumed into the wall. Again, not able to output any damage. God Strength, normal punch. Down goes the Sven. And Entity have taken out the two cores for 2 minutes. Mind Control's going to try and TP out, but he's just not lucky enough to TP with no bashes coming in from Entity. They've got another bash. They're going to another Abyssal Blade, normal punch. See you later, Mind Control.
Yeah, this game is donezo. They can go in and finish the game without buyback on these two heroes. They just don't have what it takes.
There's the GG. Yeah, just don't have it. Entity, it felt like this game was kind of cruising at like an even level for a while, but I think Entity kind of figured out the fact that the damage just wasn't exactly there, and they were able to control Amar throughout every fight in this game, it felt like.
It was a slow start of the game where they kept farming this Battle Fury on Monkey King to be able to like match the farm of Sven, and then at one point his net worth just skyrocketed. I think I've said it before, I'll say it again, you can't let Entity have this Treant Protector. If you don't have the first pick, if you don't want to pick the hero, you need to ban it. Like, there are other heroes that you might be afraid of, but I think this is the hero that you just need to remove by default.
Yeah, he's getting so much farm. I mean, by the end of the game, he's got Aeon Disc, he has the Shard, he's got a Blink, he has Refresher. Like, this isn't just your normal 4 position and he happens to get farm. No, this is default for him. He gets farm every game.
He just wants to get the farm. Like, he wants to be able to get the farm, get to that the Refresher Shard. So many times we've seen this root mechanic crippling all of their cores, and the rest of the team also playing really well together, taking care of each other with the Aphotic Shield, with the 4 staffs, and not too many casualties. I love the itemization, Guardian Greaves, which is pretty standard on Darkseer, but also having this Crimson Guard that did tank up a lot. A lot of that damage was soaked up by the Crimson Guard.
Yeah, so not the default play from Entity with the high aggression in the lanes, and a different build for a couple of these heroes as they take game 1 over Nigma. And to break down game number 1, we've got the panel. We'll send it back your way. Take it away.
It is game 1 done and dusted, and Entity, they looked great. You guys were favors of Nigma Galaxy's lineup, maybe for entertainment-wise.
These entertainment value.
I didn't say all of you guys. I didn't say everyone.
I love a Mars
Only for the entertainment.
Really? You love a Mars fan. Did you love the impact it had in this game?
Tell me more. Did you tip him
He
as well?
spent 20 minutes farming.
Okay, yeah, it was a rough game in that regard. I think this was the opposite, I think, of the game that we all expected. With Nigma and Entity, they've shown drafts of aggression, play styles in the face of their opponent. But for the first 20-25 minutes, this was a complete stalemate of let's all farm until we're strong. Props to Entity from playing the map correctly, I think, to not allow Nigma to have that. But yeah, fundamentally, to TLDR it, Amar did not get the damage out. He ended this game with 11,000 damage. GH on the Mirana with a Force, a Lotus, and a Wraith Pact did 13,700 damage. Did more damage than the Sven. So it was a bit of a troubling game for Amar. He wasn't ever able to ever get into the game.
It's kind of looking rough. These numbers are rough for me. If your position 4 is dealing more damage.
Who has only support items?
Who has items, more titans, yeah. But Entity's draft is literally made to disable you. It's made so you can't do anything. Like this Kataomi, Tree and Protector, please. Like, I feel if you're Entity and you're banning out Lash, then Nigma should probably respect the Treant as well at some point, or find the right ways of dealing with him, because this guy is on a different level. Like every single game that I watch, he has a Blink Dagger and a Refresher eventually. Like,
I'll let you guys think about MVP, and while you are, Kezu, I'm going to ask you a question. It's sort of around Entity's draft, their lineup, the way that they were able to team fight, but also able to use that team fight to shut down a lot of what Nigma Galaxy were trying to do with their lineup.
I mean, I think Entity kind of out-team thought Nigma at various points. I think it also comes back to Amar messing up a couple team fights, not really pressing his BKB. I think that Stormstormer had a very good game with his rotations, the way he like held the map for his team too. And I think overall Entity just played their lineup better than Nigma. I think it basically just boils down to that.
Comes down to execution, so MVP for execution on Entity?
I have mine.
I have mine.
Okay. Oh, you want to play the game?
We can play the game.
All right. Yep. Go on. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Stormer. Wait, what did you say?
Storm.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we got
alright.
2 Storms to the one.
Storm
actually,
it
he
is.
deserved it.
Yeah.
Like that Aegis kill as well early on. Later on, just styling on his Pango. Okay, I can get
The
big.
drive-by on mid alone was good enough
Yeah.
for
It was
me.
banging. But I think these are the type of games where you pick this Pango in the first phase, and you know his role is to mitigate all the early aggression, and as long as he syncs up with, say, the Abaddon in the top side of the jungle, he kind of opened up the entire game for everyone just to AFK farm. And for Entity, their entire draft, it felt like they didn't want to do anything until they had the items. They knew they didn't have the supports to enable the cross-map play, so they leaned into it. And Stormstormer was the pivotal piece of the puzzle to get that online.
Like, how many minutes were there before we had 10 kills?
Too many. Okay,
Too
let's
many
not
minutes.
reminisce. Okay.
No, I just want to go into it a bit deeper. Like 20-minute mark, we have around 7 kills, and it's not for a lack of trying from Nigma. Like they have this uber meta kind of a draft with Ricky and Mirana. That's literally, if you asked any team what duo of supports they would want, it's Tusk Robic or Mirana Ricky. It's like the most played, but. Entity's draft is genius in a way because they cover each other. You have Abaddon on one side, you have Treant on the other. Also 4s and 5s. And they're just saving everything.
Yeah, sometimes playing what is deemed as the best supports aren't always what's best for your team, but something that is the best, it's our sponsor, esportsbet.io. They are launching soon a watch to earn platform. If you guys want more details, you can join the Discord channel, and if you're looking for that link, it is available on PGL's Twitch channel down below. And it's also very fitting that you guys picked Stormstormer for MVP because we have a special little content piece for you guys during this break. It is going to be an interview, part 1, between Grubby and Stormstormer himself.
Hey everyone, I'm Grubby. I'm here with Stormstormer, mid player for Team Entity, and we're coming at you with a one-on-one solo mid interview. I've never done any of these. Stormstormer, tell me how this works. What are the rules?
I mean, I've never done an interview like this. I mean, generally speaking, there's no runes in this mode. I think at least it's only one solo mid mode. Fair, I didn't play this one especially since a while, and there's no bounty runes. So whoever gets to kill the enemy like twice first or takes the enemy's tower is gonna win. That's how I see it.
Okay, whoever. I like that you're leaving it up to mystery. What is gonna?
Of course.
Yeah. No, cool. That's very respectful. I'll try to treat you the same in the interview. Shall we just both random and see what happens?
As you wish. I think it's also fine if you can also tell me what hero you want me to play, and you could choose your hero. I think that's also fair. But we can both random too.
I almost wonder if that's gonna be worse, because like I'll try to look for a hero that's like really weak, and it will look even worse when I get curb stomped.
Do you know what's my best hero?
Is it Invoker?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure,
So,
I can.
I'm not gonna go Invoker. If we random and I get Invoker, then let's just restart, right? It took me like 3 hours just to understand his kit, and then I played a game.
That's pretty normal though. That's not too bad. And I saw your first game was pretty fine. No worries.
Yeah. Well, several hours of preparation. I still got flamed, but at least I didn't die that much. Didn't do that much damage, but he's tough. It takes a long time to learn, doesn't it?
My friend, it doesn't matter how good you are. I also get flamed to my pups. It really doesn't matter. So do not worry about that.
Only top 10 in ladder, still getting flamed.
It really doesn't matter. There's still a top 9 or top 8 guy who flames you, my friend. Or even the top 1k guy. It doesn't matter.
All right, time is running out. Let's just both random and see what happens. I got Elsa Titan against
Okay. That's a really unfair one, though. This is like not fair at all for you.
I played this hero last 4 months ago. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Don't buy any items, okay? Let me buy items and you don't buy
I can do that. You want to play like that? That could be... Yeah? Okay. Sure.
Don't buy items, and maybe I will last longer than 5 minutes. And,
okay, I'm not buying items. That sounds...
Okay. So you reached top 10, I saw on one of your tweets on the ladder like 2 months ago in November.
Yeah, right.
You have a lot of achievements in the game. What does it mean to you to reach top 10 on the ladder? And how did you do that via pub games? Like, what are the challenges?
I mean, it feels very great. It's been a long-term goal for me. I mean, to be more to say more specific, I mean, it's been a goal for me to become rank 1, but I didn't manage to achieve that yet. Climbing ladder can be insanely difficult in some sense. It takes a lot of endurance from you, a very strong mindset, and like basic fact that you play good Dota for a longer period of time. So I never managed really to get this high until November, so it was really a great achievement. Basically, like a little bit of a confidence boost. And the thing is, if you want to get rank 1 in the leaderboards, you have this thing, like you have this drive that you want to play, I don't know, maybe 12 games a day, which really for many people is probably not smart. At least not for me, because you basically run out of power, right? So I tried to have a very balanced daily rhythm, basically. Holy shit, I'm gonna last it while talking to you. Holy shit.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna last it anything. I don't remember what his kit does.
Okay, that's good.
What does this thing do, this ghost?
You send it back and you get damage back. Yeah. You have to press the button again. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. I got it.
Oh my god, this is great.
After TI, everyone is relaxing. This is an important moment for everyone to regenerate, so you don't like lose your mind while practicing and so on. So you can't find any scrims. So do you just take like an extended break?
I guess so. I mean, really, Dota people are so different. There's like some, I don't know, 80-year-old people which come back from TI. Like, for example, Mind Control, there was a funny meme for me. TI7, he won TI7, right? He was a TI champion and everything. And then I think the day right after, I saw him playing in a pub. And I was like, holy shit. So I guess it's like a bit of a personal thing, like how much of a break you need. I also thought I'm going to take a longer break after TI, just chill a little bit, you know, I don't know, for at least 1 or 2 weeks. But I found myself coming home for TI, and already 3 days later, I was actually streaming again, just because I couldn't resist playing. That was a nice stomp. I like that.
Sometimes people. So when I would play, sometimes immediately after a competition, win or loss, it was kind of like a therapy as well. Like, I gotta work through it, and I gotta be better immediately. It's tough though, right after a tournament. You can be lacking creativity right after a tourney because you're just, even sometimes without knowing, you might be mentally like really spent.
Yeah, that's so well put. Especially without knowing is a really important aspect.
Without knowing, exactly.
That's like that's so interesting about it, because you think like you're so motivated, like you have such a drive.
Yes.
That you even like you're like, oh, yeah, exactly.
Kind of work through the pain and yeah.
Exactly, like you're not satisfied with your performance, yada yada yada, and you wanna improve, but in reality you're just actually exhausting. You should, like, it would be more beneficial to take a break. So it's really interesting. Like, I don't know, learn that about yourself as well.
At some point you decided this going pro thing, this could be a thing, right?
Yeah.
was that a decision you felt you made mostly by yourself? Was it with the blessing or the approval of others?
I wanted to become an esport player right after school, actually, but my family still told me as well, hey, it's important that you have at least plan B going, because it's risky.
Yep.
So because of them, for example, I went to university while playing Dota, and I'm really glad that I have to plan B right now. Like, I have a degree.
So all throughout pro
I mean,
gaming, you've managed to?
Like, only in the last year of my studies, I started playing DPC. Before that, there was not any professional gaming. Like, there were some LANs that I qualified to and everything, and I still had the drive, but I was nowhere near focusing 100% on it.
Can you tell me what my ult does?
Your ulti, it makes like this fissure on the ground that has an delayed explosion, basically. So what you want to do? I can stand in it, yeah, and it will slow me big time and do a lot of damage.
Oh, okay, I see.
The idea is that you Q me first. You stun me with the Q first, so the ulti hits me reliably.
Okay, the stun is it's my main body Q, right?
Exactly, yeah, but it also Qs on your W. So the full skill order is that you W on me, then Q, then ulti.
Oh, okay, got it.
So the spirit is gonna stun me. Yeah, you need some mana for that. Wait, I'm not gonna kill you, so I can finish this conversation.
Yeah, thanks. How come you didn't fall asleep? I thought I pressed Q.
You're canceling your Q all the time. You're moving.
Oh,
You're not allowed to move.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was canceling it. Okay,
That's also...
Thanks for not killing me yet.
Sure, I need... Oh wait, you wouldn't even quit. It's until 2 kills. Oh, I'm an idiot. I could have killed you.
Yeah, I know, but I have more questions, so thank you.
Yeah, no, anytime. Oh, you're gonna kill me. I wish I had items.
Any boots users? Okay, thank you. You can play seriously now. I get a little bit of time.
2016, I think I went to my first LAN, Insomnia 57, I think in Birmingham. It was a pretty big LAN, I guess, not too high price pool. I lost more money going there than earning.
1-1. 2 deaths is over, right?
Yeah, this time I'm...
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I guess I give foods today, yeah, sure.
Having a hoot is having a good time.
Welcome back, everyone. We are in the middle of Nigma Galaxy up against Entity, and we had a nice little interview there. They were 1v1ing. Storm were giving us some information on, I guess, his personal life, his pro career, but also how to play ET.
Yeah, he had to play this drown and not buy items, and Grubby's there buying items, but he's also very nice. He's telling him how the spells work. He's also doing
running into the spell.
It's like, oh, you hit me.
Oh, the ult!
Yeah, it's so wholesome.
It's just so insane for me that we're having Grubby like in Dota. Like, I competed a little bit in Warcraft 3 as well, and he was my idol back then in the day, and now...
Oh, back then, not now?
Well...
Time change, it's fine. Don't worry, buddy.
Keep going, Lizard.
Times do change a little bit. Like, he's still an amazing person, great streamer, like...
Now you're his idol.
Perhaps,
maybe, sure.
Just trying to throw you a bone there, but let's get back on track with this series. We could talk about Stormer a little bit, in fact, how you felt his impact on the Pango, and if you think he's going to get it again in game number 2.
Perhaps if they first phase it once again, they might get it. Because, yeah, it's a strong hero, but overall, there are others that you need to respect a little bit higher. Like, there are heroes higher on the pecking order.
I do like that they picked it early in this game, the last one. I think it helped them offset, like that the supports are more greedy and slow.
Sure.
Because he could like hold the pace of the game, so I think that was very good. But I agree with Lizard, unless they take it first phase, I think they won't be able to get it.
I have a feeling if they do get it first phase here, Nigma will respond to it a little bit earlier. Like they will perhaps pick that Bloodseeker a little bit earlier just to make his game living hell.
The pick order is the same. In your eyes, T, do you think the bans are going to be same and Nigma Galaxy might run it back with the Brood?
I mean, already the answer's kind of been given there. They've not banned out the Batrider this time. They're respecting the Katomi tree, which I think you need to against Entity. The main question now is just Broodmother. will Nigma go back for it? If they do go back for it, Entity will close out the first phase with the Pangolier that you've been mentioning. So I think
I love the meta between these two teams. Like Rubik in the pool, Tusk in the pool, Ricky in the pool. There's just
everything's in the pool.
everything is still in. Brood Mother in. Like
Yeah, they had their own little meta with the Nature's Prophet, Lesh, Lena, and Tree Focus.
which is understandable. Like Treant wasn't banned in the last game.
Yeah, what was banned instead?
Bad Rider.
Bad Rider, yeah. And they go for the Rubik themselves. Sure. I think one option Entity could have done, and a draft that they've tried to do, was the first pick Undying. It then prevents the Broodmother pick from being so instantly snapped up, and then they could round out the phase with the Pango or Slark or a Bat Rider or something along those lines. But instead, they go for the Rubik, preventing Nigma from having the Tusk plus Rubik combo, any of these second pick openings that just feel comfortable with the flex of the Tusk. So yeah, I also don't mind the fact that they've gone for the Rubik.
I wonder here if Nigma will just go for their classic, some Naga Razor. Is something they could do. The only problem is the bans don't really fully support it. It would make it quite easy for Entity to close out their phase, but here kind of go, like, here's going to show how confident are Nigma in their opening. It's like, we will have this, and it doesn't matter what you take, we just want to have it and then run away with it.
They just go for the Brood themselves. Okay.
Instead, just snatch the Brood once more.
Right in the back.
Brood Tusk this time around. Okay, no more setting up. Tusk is not too Ricky. This guy wants to go in, get the kill off instantly. And it's flexible too, right? Like it can be. Has Sumail played any Tusk though? I can't remember. I think not, right?
He hasn't yet, no.
Yeah, so probably not as flexible for them. If you have a Tusk on Nigma, you want it on GH.
Pango or Bat right now for Entity are the two that come to mind. Maybe the reason why you deter from Pango a little bit is because of Shards could be a little bit disruptive, but in the grand scheme, just either of those two heroes will give Stormstorm so much confidence, and you already see him talking in the background. Could be an indicator of that. Or they just ignore it. I would be surprised though.
He just had an amazing game on Pango, you know.
Run it back.
Yeah, give him Bat this time.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like
Something else he's just as confident on.
sometimes players, you know, like you own too hard one game, then you get that feeling that momentum passed into the next one, and even though you're not that strong, you're not in a dominant position, you carry over the dominant stance, and you get punished for it. This is reaching really hard, but I have seen it happen. So give him something different, and I do like I do enjoy the Bat Rider just as much versus Brood.
Yeah, I mean, also I think it might be his best hero.
Yep.
Stormstormer, he pops off every time on this hero.
Well, he said in the interview that it was Invoker, but would you guys
Invoker
say
is
Bat?
Sure, like I think it's maybe
That's at a different tier. Like if we have a tier list of Stormstormer heroes, Invoker's by itself, and then it's Bat
Everything
Pango.
else, yeah.
Okay.
I do think performance-wise on competitive games, I would rate his Bat Rider above Invoker, just because I feel like Bat's just a better hero right now.
I think that's true. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily come to how well he plays the hero. It's just about the Bat being usually much better.
I just thought it'd be fun for a second. I don't know why. It just took over me. Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Be fun all the time.
Yay. Unlike these drafts, no joking. So Entity ban-wise, they SD ban in second phase. Trying to think if there's any reasoning behind it. And Nigma's still banning out the Pangolier themselves, so they're respecting that potential Toby or Flame Bat Rider, getting a little bit debated potentially there. But yeah, I wasn't really expecting an SD ban. I'm not seeing anything too specific other than maybe a deterrent for Bat Rider. You just put the Purge on him, slow him down.
It's not really that great, right? Like I'm thinking, is there something that they want to draft, like some hero that doesn't want to get purged?
It would be like Ursa or something. But so I think for Entity, in terms of bans, I was wondering, maybe they want to ban Slark, unless they want to pick it themselves in the next phase, because they do pick before Nigma on the closing pick. So maybe that they're not banning it now.
They just yoink it, yeah.
They just yoink it.
That's the double next level play. Entity are like, we won't ban it because they won't pick it next, but we will. And Nigma are like, screw you.
It's nice as well with the ban.
Yeah.
Like, because you have the ban on the end of the phase, right? They ban Bloodseeker into Slark. It's just a nice way of doing it.
Can you actually think that deep? Like, that's like some 3 levels of thinking, because Nigma, it doesn't take that much. They pick Sven or they pick Slark. Like if they have an option to pick one of those two.
Oh, that's not true.
It's not true, but
they don't want to raise here, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. If they have an option, they're playing into a Bat Rider, they will pick the Slark, right? So
it's just one of their best options. It's also potentially flex. If Sumail wants to play it mid, I don't know. It's possible.
Entity with the Ricky.
You go Death Prophet as well. Okay.
So it will be some Ricky.Profit offlane most likely, Rubik +1 safe lane, bat mid,
Just pressure,
or entity.
pretty much.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, DP, there's a lot of flexibility now because you have a little bit of ambiguity between the DP and Batrider. They can share whatever lane they need to go into. But I think for Entity, it's like the lane should go well, and then they need to pivot that into just running over their heroes. It's like they have Firefly, they have Exo, it's going to be in the face.
I just like Ricky into both the Tusk and the Slark. Like
Sure.
these two heroes, like as a Tusk, what do you want to do? You want to blink in, snowball, right? Like, save your targets. If you aren't initiating, you want to be the counter initiation. You can't do that over smokescreen. And also for Slark, most of the time I don't see an early BKB or a BKB at all on Slark players. So the smokescreen definitely hurts him too. They need something that saves them against that.
Whoa!
Okay.
That's wild.
This is, how long has it been?
Is this some...
We've seen Chen banned recently,
Yeah.
but pick-wise, quite some time, in this region at least.
Yeah, the Kuroki Chen, it's a treat to behold.
Okay, so one of the things I can see with the pick, generally Chen is good, of course, against lineups that don't deal well with summons. Entity aren't too good against that. I think the heal is good because Entity's draft, I think the damage is very slow, so having heal against it is very good. And Slark Chen lane, even though it sounds odd, it can be good. You have Penitence into him, Essence shifting into some people, so sure, I guess it's a Kuro classic.
Yeah, you get the right creeps, you can demolish lanes for sure. It's just it's a sleeper hero. And it's all about grouping, right? And now for Nigma, they're going to want to group around that Broodmother. You then throw the heals plus the Brood, plus a Tusk, Slark opening up the fight. It looks very good on paper. The issue is, I think, if you don't win the lanes, then getting these heroes to be in aggressive position against a Batrider, against a Ricky scouting you, it can feel pretty hard to play there and not just feed. So
Can you some Monkey King again here, like for Entity? Is it an option? Like into the Brood, what else is there? Naga is banned out, Monkey King is in the pool.
yeah, I think Monkey is up there for sure. Just something that you can stand your ground with. So when Slark and these heroes want to jump in, you're just able to hold your place. And it also fortifies objective defenses and also Roshan.
You aren't really afraid of Faceless Void, right? Like if you're Enigma, not that much. Like
Yeah,
you don't
I-
have
Really?
too much damage into it.
I think you shouldn't be. I think Monkey is probably one of the best bets right now. I think also Rubik is, in my opinion, not the strongest 5. So you need a hero that does well early, and ideally that can also play against the Brood after the lane is over, because none of the other heroes want to touch that lane, at least later.
Yeah. Also, I think this is it's the 4th Chen that we're seeing in all of Div 1 regions. It's been picked twice in SEA and once in Eastern Europe. So yeah,
And it's
really,
only won one of those 3 games.
yeah, really is a kind of a dead hero in
Rarity.
regards to the old DPC.
The Morana ban coming out for Entity, are they going to have to 50-50 these bans? Are they going to have to try and ban a mid laner next, not really knowing where the Tusk is going? Or are you guys all in? Yeah, Sumail on the Tusk.
That's very interesting because we didn't see Sumail on Tusk, right?
No, we haven't.
So
Not this
overall,
DPC.
I was thinking that this will be a Tusk position
4.
4. Yeah.
I want to see like a puck or something mid. I want something to mitigate the Batrider aggression. I think if he plays Tusk, he's conceding the lane and also like the early aggression too much, and it will offset their game.
Quap is banned out.
Yeah, they need a mid or carry.
Storm is a pick, but there's a smoke screen. There's Rubik with the lift.
Yeah.
Can be kind of rough, but maybe a Sumail hero.
Yeah, like
But
Kez,
Puck, I like the Puck call maybe the most.
I mean, like Kez was mentioning,
Puck
Nigma
can-
have been extremely flexible before. You could also just throw a Mar on mid, like the Slark that you mentioned, and it's like now Sumail just gets
What-
to play any hero he
What
wants.
about that crazy Viper we saw a couple of times versus Bat? Just put him mid, be nasty. Not a Sumail special, right? Like you don't want to see him on these kind of heroes. But you have a Chen, you have a Viper, you have a Brood. You're very nasty. You're ugly. You just run in. You make stuff happen.
Damn, man, you don't have to insult the hero.
I mean,
Bat-
he's saying how it is, you know, they are.
It is how it is.
You
Yeah.
sold me at
The heroes don't look too
You see Brood and you see a
Yeah,
Viper.
pick him.
Again, Entity have to pick the out of the phase, so Nigma will have all the information before they need to go down these quirky routes. For Entity, at least, they do need that carry. Entity already have so much map pressure. They need someone who can capitalize on that space to go Roshan, to open up the game. Nigma banning out the TA. I mean, Ursa doesn't feel too good. I wouldn't... it honestly couldn't be too bad, to be fair, but I would love to see some
they're-
objective-esque hero.
Yeah.
Not in
They're
regards
afraid
to
of the
towers.
tempo, right? Like
Yeah.
there's TA, there's what, TB maybe, but
I still think like some Monkey or
They banned the
Sven is
TB.
maybe something that they want to go for.
so there's Monkey.
I think anything that can lane there, be okay early, and if it can jump or have a semi-engage in the mid game,
Yep.
I think that's a big plus, because right now it's only kind of Batrider or a Dart. And a lot of other carries are banned.
Someone to soak up this, and also like, when Nigma walked an objective, if they have this a tanky carry in front, which they can't kill, and they're wasting resources, they don't really have enough ways to lock down a hero, which will then unlock heroes like Bat, Ricky, and DP to thrive. And
Oh, we forgot about this boy.
yeah, why not? Like, it's exactly what we're talking about as archetype, an instant Zeus, without even any thought.
Right. Well, there we go. Lineups are all completed. Then Pudge pretty much fit the build there that you guys were talking about. Is it enough for Entity to 2-0 the series?
I think
This is full in entities
their wheelhouse,
comfort
yeah.
zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watson popped off on it last time we saw him play Pudge.
Yeah, I think Nick was put themselves in a position of a very fragile lineup. You can be tanky with Brood, you can be elusive with Slark, but they don't have that natural wall in which you can protect the Zeus. So if Entity do pop off with have initiation, they can just break open Nigma's kind of line. So I'm a little bit scared for Nigma that they need to set the pace of the game the entire time to play out this draft.
I really dislike Nigma Strikehorror. I think the synergy is not really there. Yeah, I think Slark doesn't really play too well with Zeus. Brood doesn't have too many people rotating for him. Chen doesn't have too many people going in for him, so I think it's a little awkward.
So that's for fighting. Is it also like for timings, when they're going to hit their items and power timings?
I just think that Entity will have good lanes,
Yep.
and they'll have stronger timings around the map. They'll also win fights that last long, which is the one thing Nigma want to do. So
Okay.
Uphill battle, that's it.
Yeah.
Uphill battle.
But
Fair
Nigma
enough.
can do it, they've done it before.
No, I agree with Kezu, but perhaps Kuro can do some Chen magic, like Chen plus Tusk plus Brood, taking over the map, creating space
true.
for everyone. There is a chance in that happening, but uphill battle once again.
This game is either going to give us a game number 3 or a 3-way tiebreaker for 2 major slots. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll head on over to B Cup and Lacoste.
Thank you very much. Coming into game number 2, a lot on the line here for both teams. So, well, we'll see if Entity can clean it up 2-0. But what are you thinking? How do you see this game playing out?
I see this new hero that
Ooh.
I haven't seen in the DPC. I heard the panel talking about it, but I haven't seen the game where Chen was picked. Also, I'm wondering what the itemization is going to be, because you do have Broodmother who gets that Guardian Grease, so I'm wondering who's going to skip it, who's going to go for different item build this time around. And yeah, on Entity side, you do have, like, I'd say a bit of a slower start from position 4 and 5. It's not that strong safe lane where you have, like, you do have a setup with telekinesis, but the strongest combo I've seen so far with the Pudge is definitely Crystal Maiden, having an extra slow, and also that Frostbite, providing him some extra mana in the laning stage for the hooks. We'll see how this one will go. On the side of Nigma Galaxy, a lot of D-warding. Zeus plus Slark. I don't think you can ask for anything better in terms of you having better vision, having that night vision from Slark as well, scouting things out with the Broodmother. We've seen how annoying mind control can be in the previous game once he gets to his items. But might be a little worried. Like, they can't put the pressure. I want to see how much pressure they can put with this Chen and Broodmother onto towers.
Tell me. Nothing going on. Fake hype. Is this a lineup here for Entity that's going to kind of play their normal game where they play aggressively? As hold that thought. esportsbet.io odds on your screen. Favoring Entity a lot more than the last game, I believe, that we saw. And, you know, at the current time, doing a little bit of a risk-free bet bonus, 100 USD. If your bet loses, get it back for free.
Yeah, I think Entity has better chances even in this one. Like, their draft in the previous game was like super slow. This time around, they can play much more aggressive. They're gonna hit their timings earlier, especially with Stormstormer being on the Batrider. Looking at this mid matchup, Sumail starting with the Magic Wand, extra branch. It's pretty standard since you're playing against the Batrider, and a lot of the time it does happen. Batriders, they don't even get anything other than the stick in a palm until they hit level 5 if they can't find any openings. So they're just like, oh, maybe if I find something. And Fishman pushing out GH out of the lane relatively early on.
Yeah, I had some extra help when they landed the hook on the Tusk to start, but it's going to make that Tusk's life a little bit tough to just stay up there. And going back to your point about that Batrider, I'm just interested to see when they get up to that level 5 how Stormstormer's going to approach this, because we've seen a couple times that double flame break take, and I feel like Zeus is kind of one of those heroes that might be vulnerable to that.
Yeah, you
pretty
might
heavily.
catch him during the heavenly jump if you time it correctly. I want to see if they can kill this top lane. Like, once you hit level 2 with Enigma's offlane, it's a lot of damage. There's no point in Hunger. Hook underneath the tower.
Yeah, no snowball, so a lot of damage. Fadebolt even bringing GH low again.
Good harassment, though. But once you start to put points in tag team, plus Insatiable Hunger, it's a lot. It's really a lot of damage. And this time around, like, because I talked about the CM as the lane partner for Pudge, it's Rubik this time around. We'll reduce some of the damage with the Fade Bolt, and we can see GH playing relatively aggressive on the top lane, blocking him, but will not commit to it.
Yeah, hasn't hit that level 2 just yet. He's about to hit it with one more creep, and now he'll be able to have Snowball, but he goes to the tag team, so he gets hooked under the tower, and he ends up getting sustained under tower. Still pretty vulnerable without that Snowball.
You definitely want to have tag team in this lane, because Broodmother early on does put a lot of right-click damage. How's this Chen doing? 0-0.
Pounce Leash got him. They've been using this Tornado to try and get some extra damage on a Toby, and it's following him. It's very scary, but not that fast. Only, you know, the Tornado only has 125 movement speed.
I didn't know that. I knew it was slow, but didn't know the exact number. We'll definitely remember that one. So now the creep. Well, try to push out Toby out of the lane. This bottom lane going really well for Enigma Galaxy. 15 and 7 on Slark.
Watson, tag team, slowing him down, and has to walk all the way under the tower once again. And what's he dealing with in terms of regen? He does have a stick with 10 charges, but he's also trying to get to that early ring of health. Pounce leashes again. There's another Tornado coming the way of Toby. Sitting here in the bottom lane, which is also looking like Tornado Alley.
Again.
This is annoying.
Kuro's doing a good job zoning them out with this creep. He doesn't have another one, does have a Hurricane available later on. That's what's open for now. But yeah, there's some synergy in the laning stage. Penitence, then you jump on him, so you have more attack speed, more essence shift. You talked about the itemization on Watson. He is bringing out full Ring of Health. I don't think you can buy half Ring of Health, but yeah, this is going to be his sustain. I also want to see if GH decides to put another point in tag team once he hits level 3 to have this extra damage that they might need to take down Pudge, who is... He gets tanky. Like, with just 1 point in the flash heap, he is tanky. And this... Again.
Constant tornadoes. This is not fun to deal with. So now this Wild Wing doesn't have a lot of mana to work with anymore. It's 100 each time with a 200 max mana pool.
1 mana regen per second for that Wild Wing creep. So we'll have it again in 20 seconds.
What's he picked up this time? Now he's also got himself part of the army, the Ogre Frost Mage. But since Chen left him, Amar all of a sudden taking some harassment with the Spirit Siphon, and Katomi going in with that Blink Strike.
And we thought the previous game was slow. 0-0, 5 minutes into the game, still no first blood. And as we said, Stormer, 3 points in Sticky, doesn't have anything else. Zeus is about to crack level 6 with the next creep wave, so this is the time where they want to put some extra effort on the side lanes, mostly looking at the top lane. This is where they try to get it, maybe even before that.
Ooh, Watson, now Shard's blocking him. Telekinesis throws him back. Doesn't land him on DGH, so, well, Watson gonna go down to mind control.
What we said about that second point in the tag team, plus Insatiable Hunger. It's way too much damage. Pudge is tanky, but the overwhelming damage and yeah, you don't have CM to protect you with this time around. Like to use the Frostbite to stop that right-click damage coming in. It's just a 5 Rubik.
This seems like a Rubik Shard game to me, a little bit, where you just have that extra save, right? Like Snowball in, Shards, maybe Pounce. You just want to try and
Shard plus Force Staff, 2 great items.
Yeah.
Hook. We'll hook out the Siege Creep to stop any push. We see Kataomi lurking around the mid lane as well, but GH also looking for an opening here. Fishman looks pretty dead here.
Yeah, no mana for Telekinesis. He does have a couple charges on that stick. He'll use it. Undergod's Wrath, though, gets the kill on a Fishman. They'll end up trading GH, though, and Watson getting that first point into the Flesh Heap.
A decent trade, I'd say, for Entity. They got some solo XP on Watson, getting him closer to level 6. This is the way where they can turn things around when they go on him. if he's level 6, Dismember, and use the Flash Heap plus Rot.
Are you a Zeus ult now, Ping Enjoyer?
No. Oh, but maybe a couple of years ago when we had very limited voice lines and everything, but now there's way too many of the good ones, so not happening anymore.
Just not in the rotation anymore. Okay.
You could put it in if you have Zeus in the team.
Yeah. Zeus was one of those first heroes that I learned. I just kept asking my friends to ult when I should ult. Just 60 minutes of me asking. So, right now just 2-1, and top of the net we're Stormstormer doing a good job on this Batrider, who has gone to the double in the Firefly with the lasso as he's hit level 6, so he's got 4 in the Sticky Napalm, so no Flame Break for Stormstormer. And Amar, not struggling, but definitely not too comfortable at the moment.
Lane looked really good at the start, and Stormstormer, he'll find Brood.
Yeah, they have the lasso. The damage is there with the Firefly, so no
Very
way that
nice
Mind Control gets
rotation.
out.
Understands exactly where he is, gets the kill. We'll go back to jungle farming. Maybe stack it one more time if he can. And Kuro blocking the Ancients with the Sentry.
Ooh, didn't block the stack, though. Just a second off.
Oh, it's an Observer Ward, never mind. So but it's an Observer called Sentry. I always get baited by that. Thank you, Snaking. He's the one who started this dirty little trick.
Yeah. It's not fun for observers, or us. We see Sentry, we think Sentry. Telekinesis, GH. Well, he'll snowball all the way across to the neutrals, and the damage is not going to be there.
Ooh, very
Just
close. Raindrop
in
keeping him
time.
alive. Yeah, if we have Dota observers for the games, why don't we have Dota sentries as well? Like, it should be a job title. Shout out to our observers and the sentries.
I mean, I guess Sentry's another, like, word for observer,
Just have
right?
one guy who's focused on the sentry wards, like counting down the sentries.
Oh, okay. Has to know the stock at all times. Does that mean we're also going to have Dota smokes? Where they just watch the smoke amounts at all times as well? Toby. Run down. Another tornado in the alley. That's going to be
First usage
thrown
of the
towards
bots.
Toby. And
Kuro
yeah, to travel. Stormstormer
Looks
coming over.
very
No
dead
lasso.
here.
They do have Sumail, though. Is he dead?
Never
They've
mind.
Got Toby at about half health. Heavily jumped towards Stormstormer. Thunder God's Wrath, and now they get the kill into the Batrider. They're still looking over at Toby. Toby moving forward with the Spirit Siphon, but Amar, oh, he's waiting to use that Dark Pact and have that pounce. They still get the kill into Sumail, and now Blink Strike silence onto this Slark. Slark getting really
Another
low.
Siphon.
Spirit Siphon and a Crib Swarm, and Amar falls.
All three of them actually fall.
What?
Just... Ooh, they also pick up the Bounty Rune. They're getting the levels in this lane. Watson does have a hook.
Oh, good
Ooh.
snowball juke, and now Watson doesn't want to chase.
He's pushed out of the lane. This tier 1 tower will fall. Stormstormer, Boots of Travel, not available for 30 seconds, so he can't be there. They don't have that hero that's gonna soak up the damage, who can like sit in Broodmother lane and not get punished. Maybe if Pudge gets to his Vanguard. I don't even know if he wants to buy a Vanguard. If he wants to sit in the lane, I think Vanguard's fine, because they don't have the hero. Ricky can't do it. Batrider can like do it once, but then like once the Firefly is down, Broodmother can do whatever she wants. Okay, so speaking of the itemization, I was curious how they're gonna itemize. It seems it's gonna be Broodmother going into Pipe and Chen going into Mech.
Yeah, so Guardian Greaves potentially in the future for Kuroki. He's got a good amount of farm right now. He's only a little bit behind Fishman on this 5 Rubik, who's got Arcane Boots. As I guess the question's still there for them, but they'll get Arcane Boots, also get Toby. He's got Arcanes going into the mech, and he's almost got that too. So it looks like Guardian Greaves in Toby's future.
They can see Stormstormer farming, but who's gonna rotate? Amar is gonna be the one. Does have that ulti available. Rest of the team also coming in.
Sumail's here. Stormstormer throwing out a sticky napalm, and they've got the Blink Strike. Kuroki now on the run. Crypt Swarm, Lightning Bolt from Sumail. Smokescreen on all 3. So that means it's just nothing coming out from the Zeus. We'll use that Tumbler's Toy as well as the Heavenly Jump to get away from
they
the
stop the
side of
pounce?
Entity. But now Amar pouncing out of the low ground and getting away from these heroes. Meanwhile, going up towards top, they've got the Dismember on a Mind Control. Stormstormer immediately changing objectives, going for Mind Control with Watson. Firefly still going. That means he's able to get into the trees and find this Broodmother and get a kill.
Stormstormer, he's all over the place. Panel did mention that, everyone heard about the Stormstormer's Invoker, but his Batrider has been really impressive. And this Cloud is always going to be a threat against the Snowball. Save that you can do it, like even when you pick up the Blink Dagger, if it's nicely placed. It's something that Slark doesn't like to play into.
Man, it's been a problem for Sumail too, right? Like in a couple of these fights, he's just been in the smoke screen. And
yeah, you can't
what
use
is Zeus'
Heavenly
output
Jump.
then?
You can't deal damage. Haste Rune, Stormstormer definitely wants to pick up that one.
Picked up by Fishman, telekinesis, and now they've got the smoke screen again. That means no snowball. So,
Ooh, that would hit. If he doesn't use Heavenly Jump, it would definitely hit. Entity opening the map so much. This Boots of Travel pickup on Batrider, it's pretty standard, but the way they've been playing with it has been pretty impressive. The first rotation from Stormstormer, even without bots, TP Stop gets the kill, then TP Stop again, and we talked about the Watson itemization. He did pick up that Vanguard in the end, so he can sit in the lane where Broodmother is. They needed to make an adjustment. Like, sure, you do buy an item if you're having that good of a time, but his start was not as good as we've seen some Pudges have.
Yeah, so it started off really quiet. We didn't get first blood until like 6 minutes into the game or something like that. And since then, 7 more minutes, all of a sudden, the game's opening up a little bit more. We see a lot more aggression from Entity. They use that Exorcism to get the bottom tier 1, and it feels like this is more Entity's default game plan, where it's just push and be aggressive and try to catch Nigma.
Get
Galaxy
the pickoffs. Nigma does have really bad gank. Because you need to rotate with the Tusk. You probably need to rotate the Broodmother's lane before Slark gets his Diffusal, which he's getting closer to. All Entity needs to do is try to get the pickoffs and dodge this big team fight that Enigma Galaxy is going to look out for, where they group up with the mech, with the pipe on Broodmother to soak up most of the damage from Entity. Watson stacking for himself, finding that farm. Level 10 now.
By the way, Kuroki, at least for now, he's got the mech queued up and then drums. So not the full Guardian Greaves at the moment. Let's see what he ends up deciding to go for. Smoke screen, blink strike twice, throwing him inside the smoke screen, and now they've got the Dismember to pull him back in the smoke screen. So mind control. He'll go down to Watson.
They also didn't use Lasso this time around. We'll have it for the next fight. Stormstormer dominating this game. Top net worth. Just 1,000 gold away from his BKB. Once he gets in with a BKB, they really don't have abilities to stop him. There is a punch, but I don't think he cares too much about it.
Yeah, and this just shows the differences between the mids that they picked, right? Like, I think the matchup pretty much went evenly, except for Stormstormer going to the Boots of Travel, and he's just a more available mid, right? He's able to go around and help with these pickoffs, and that's exactly what he did to start off the kills, right? When he went top with the Boots of Travel and initially took out Mind Control.
Zeus was involved in the first kill with his ulti, of course, but other than that, we haven't seen him move to the other lanes and help out. So Mind Control this time around might be in trouble one more time. Kataomi's cutting things out.
He keeps trying to come back here top, and it's starting to be an issue. Like, he can't reliably sit here.
And it's a 15-minute mark. Ricky has enough money to buy that shard, needs to use the courier, and it's going to be sleep setup for a hook.
Yeah, welcome to Sleep City, and the combo is, well, the hook, like you said. So let's see if they can be careful, and we'll see if Nigma can kind of go about this, because in the previous Ricky game, when they had Kuroki on the Ricky, they had themselves an Abaddon, and it's not much here for Nigma like that, and well, Snowball comes in, but Amar gets caught, so he's just dead so quickly, and they're going to follow this up with a kill on a GH2. Like, the smoke screen just proving to be
5
very
tips
difficult.
for Amar.
Another game of tips. He'll have those Dota Plus sets soon enough with all these tips. Stormstormer top, again looking over at Mind Control. Flame Break pushing Mind Control closer to Stormstormer. Lasso already on cooldown. And they've got the Centaur that misses the stomp, but Kuroki's here. Watson over to the side, maybe looking for a hook to find an opening. We'll see if he's able to get anything with Sumail now. Running after Stormstormer, but here's Watson with a Dismember, so they don't have Zeus to do anything.
Hand of God, smokescreen down. Zeus
And
can't
two.
do anything without his
Cloud
spells.
one more time.
And now Sumail just out of it, but the Blink Strike, the Thunder God's Wrath aren't enough here. So Watson with another kill. He's right on top of Kuroki. They're going to get themselves a Chen. It's a double kill for the Pudge. And they continue one after the other to get these kills. Now asleep onto the Tusk, which means what? Another kill, another smoke screen, and another one tallied to the mark here for Entity.
Now, this smoke screen has been causing a lot of issue. This is also a fight where Nigma's Galaxy's lineup was supposed to be really strong at, and as time goes by, this lineup is just going to get weaker and weaker, while Entity, you have this BKB picked up on a Batrider. This first attempt of Amar trying to go in with his Diffusal Blade didn't really help out, and you can see he understands where the threat is coming from, going into BKB next, but they can still use the Sleeping Dart into Pudge, into Lasso, hold you inside way too many BKB piercing abilities, and this time around, Toby does have Guardian Greaves while there's only a mech available on Chen, so expect Entity to go around. They want to have They want to kill this tier 1 tower on the mid lane, especially now that Watson did pick up his full Aghanim Scepter, so reducing that healing is going to be very crucial. And it also opens up the Roche. Toby is level 12 with the Exorcism, so they can force a Roche fight with it.
Yeah, this is that was all pre-act, which was a big issue. Lasso, the Diffusal, inhibiting him. Hook actually doesn't land onto the Sark, but he's telekinesis back into the smoke screen, so he just cannot do anything pre-BKB, and Watson with another double kill. That's how many on the Flesh Sheep are 10.
Kataomi has been all over the place, setting things up with his Sleeping Dart. Toby does have Exo available, will pop it. Vision has already been planted. There's a triangle of Observer Wards from Entity that scout things out, and they want to kill MC one more time. Kataomi setting things up. Stormstormer is there, no Lasso available, but they still might be able to get him.
Yeah, Blink Strike, initial slow. Like you said, no Lasso, but Blink Strike is a slow, and the
Dart
Flame Break
is available.
is going to be combined with the Sleeping Dart. And Mind Control in his dreams, hopes of living, but in reality, he's dead again.
This game looks, I'd say, almost unwinnable for Nigma Galaxy. It's an 8k gold lead, but their draft doesn't really scale that well. Entity's not going to let them breathe. Can we see the Dota Plus? I want to see what Gaben thinks about this game.
He thinks that Slark has 0 essence shift stats. Let's see. No stolen agility, 86 to 14. Oh gosh. I'm surprised it's 14. I feel like that's a little bit high. What do you do? Like, he's not even going for the BKB anymore for Sark. He's going into a Mage Slayer.
Trying to itemize more cheap, but I don't think that's going to save him. There's still BKB piercing abilities. This is a tough game, tough ask for him to survive. They need to get a 1-4 staff. There is none being queued up at the moment. I think as a Tusk, you might need to change your mind, because even if you pick up a Blink Dagger, it's not going to change anything. You still can't save people if there's Cloud on top of someone. So very, very difficult. And now 50 seconds until next Exo. They can start going for these kills one more time.
Smoke screen, that leads to the hook, and he'll go to the ulti, but the Rot with the Ags. Sark trying to run, scooped up by the Snowball, but they've got the Lasso. They'll follow it up. They'll get the kill. Onto Amara, look over at GH. Another smoke screen's down. Thunder God's Draft doesn't do the damage to get the kill to Watson. He's still surviving with a Dismember, but he's trying to run. He's got the Seeds of Serenity healing him up, and he has himself an Aegis anyway. So second life available for this Pudge. Flame Break lands on 2. Kuroki, GH both in trouble. Snowball again pulling both heroes over, but that's going to throw him back into the smoke screen and lead to Watson with another double kill. That's 3, 4, 10, 20 double kills? I don't know.
9 in total, and he just picked up a Blink Dagger. This amount of slow, never mind, he sold the Blink Dagger going into BKB next. So you have Rot, you have Stick in a Palm charges. It's way too much slow, especially if you get a couple of those charges up. They try to save Amar, full pipe, mech, and also Hand of God, but still not enough. That healing getting reduced by Aghanim Scepter on Pudge. Looking at the score, 420. Now it's the best time to smoke.
It is. So if you've got one, smoke them. So let's see what they do. And Stormstormer looking for the Octarine Core. He's going Blink. I mean, he's been able to stay on these heroes anyway with this Bat Rider. Just farming up.
He didn't die. That one dead, but that's pretty much it. He can move around freely. We said it's just Walrus Punch and it's not enough to kill the Stormstormer. They don't have that like stun lockdown, so they can't bring him down from 100 to 0.
Just looking for options here for Enigma. Going Shard next for the Depth Shroud on Slark. Then BKB again, but like, it's such a long process, right?
They're also sitting underneath the ward and they're not de-warding that. Like, they do have Slark, they do have Zeus, but in terms of vision, Entity did manage to plant the wards and fight underneath the vision. Toby, Exo available on the mid lane.
Yeah, I'll probably use it after they get this tier 1 tower, especially if they're able to get a jump here. They've
Plus
got
double damage. Like, they don't have the best double damage carrier. It's Batrider and Pudge. Pudge's damage is pretty high, but he doesn't get to hit much in the fight.
maybe spotting Komi. They've got that Blink Dagger to have the lasso with that initiation. And a BKB here for Watson, so he's going to feel a lot more confident. Katomi's going to break the smoke, so they've got the vision up on the cliff. Amar over to the side, hit with the hook. There's the follow-up. Not yet.
BKB available on him.
And now looking to survive, but eventually they're going to be on Amar on the other side of the fight. They've got themselves Stormstormer. Flame Break hits on Amar. They're going to burn him out and get the kill. That is without the lasso, without the Dismember. Now they look at Kuroki. They have the Spirit Siphon. And Blink Strike from Katomi. Now a smoke screen. That helps him to get closer. The hook lands from Watson. He's got another double kill. Mind Control on the run, but there's the Dismember from a distance. And it will be Fishman who gets the brew. Stomping on this spider and squishing.
If it was any other team, I would have said that they call it. They understand that they missed their timings, but Nigma plays it out until the end. So we can expect them to play this one. And yeah, you see Amar pinging out. Ricky is missing. Ricky definitely is missing, setting things up for his team's 2-0-15 on Kataomi. Anything that can be annoying, Kataomi will play it.
Yeah.
Tilt Master with Treant Protector in the previous game now on Ricky, holding onto Philosopher's Stone, finished off Ether Lens, so even more ranged on that Sleeping Dart.
Yeah, if you just hover on that for a second,
It's full screen.
Yeah. God. Kataomi, aka the Sandman, putting you to sleep.
Prolong the inevitable.
And yeah, he's asking the right questions. Why prolong the inevitable, right? You were saying it. Any other team, maybe they call GG, and Katomi's asking the same questions. As they'll use the Exorcism, go to the bottom tier 2. No way to stop this. They're still trying to farm up these items. They've got Zeus going for a Lincolns after picking up the Octarine Core. And again, like I said, Sark wants the Depth Shroud, but I don't even know if this keeps him alive.
He doesn't get to use it. Like a Force Staff would definitely help out, but none queued up at the moment. There is this Vlad, there is this Pipe on the Broodmother, Chen, Mech going into drums. Like, all these items are good at team fighting, but their damage is non-existent. When it comes down to damage, like having this Chen plus Broodmother. Can we also see the Slark's damage in this game? I don't think he's been able to hit anyone besides the laning stage.
4,700.
Second lowest. Third lowest.
He's kind of tied with Chen. Almost. Look at this. Just Katomi finding information. He'll see GH. Put him to sleep. Landing the hook. There's no snowball. And there's no Tusk. Watson, beyond godlike, because he is 12-1-6. And nobody is stopping this Pudge with an extra 34 strength. Good timing on the Dark Pact, holding the lasso.
They also do have a gem. We've seen Fishman pick it up relatively early in the previous game. 25 minutes into this one, he also got it. And look at Fishman. He's the one. He's actually the Chen. He's the Chen himself. Having that Holy Persuasion, I was like, Radiant Creeps? What is that? But
yeah, Fishman, he's now saying, "What, you know, I can do it better than you." Ooh, hopping over the hook there with the Heavenly Jump. Close, but not landing. Entity not pushing through just yet. Almost like they're playing with their food a little bit.
Looks like it. They can't wait for the next Roche. Pop the EXO, force Nigma to fight in there. With every minute that passes, their lineup just gets much stronger compared to Nigma's, where you have this Broodmother who's trying to go into Hex. We've seen that MC did some really nice things with Hex in the previous game, but this time around, like, I don't think it's going to be enough. Watson lands a hook.
Oh dear, that's another dead GH. Look at how big the smoke screen is now. Of course, it's got that extra 60
smile.
radius.
The smile after landing that hook. It's the feel-good moment, one of the best ones in Dota for sure.
What's the percentage on hooks hit? Do we have that? On control. Spotted, and now a couple of Fishman webs will come through. They've got the silence again, and they'll get another kill on to the Broodmother.
Yeah, Fishman got that spin web, and now he can catch the fish himself. He can catch Slark in the web.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. I mean, the webs laid over the webs. It just looks...
Next Roshan will respawn in 2 minutes, so they can wait it out. Slark did pick up the Mage Slayer and that Depth Shroud that you mentioned going into BKB next, but it's going to take a while.
Also wants that Ags. I will say I'm a little shocked that they've gotten this much time for him to potentially get this BKB. Thought Entity would be a little bit more willing to push up out of the high ground. I don't really see them losing a fight trying to charge through, but I respect them to kind of keep their patience, right? Don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, for sure.
Minute and a half till Roche
Ooh,
as
this
well.
is a big one. Stormstormer with the Arcane Rune and Octarine Core.
Thunder God's Wrath will scout as Sumail was looking for the Lincolns, still is searching.
It's a good game for Lincolns where you're playing against Pudge, you're playing against like Ricky Start, Lasso. But in terms of damage output, they still might be limited. Ooh. Asleep.
Yeah.
Does not want to commit. Kataomi dropping very low this time.
They've got the Walrus Punch and the Snowball, so they finally add another kill. As now, it's dangerous, though. Bottom lane, Sumail hit with a Flame Break. They'll get the kill. Stormstormer takes out the Zeus. Amar. Uh-oh. Well, you're going to get into the Shadow Dance. You've already used the Depth Shroud. The Blink right on top of the hook hits again. Watson just never missing a hook. I'm going to say it's 100%. That's what I think.
He just missed one on top. So it's not, but it's like 85, 90% definitely. And now
Toby?
Yeah.
Without the team, he's by himself, and he's Spirit Siphoning all the way back to half health.
Used all 4 Spirit Siphons.
He had like no health left.
Guardian Greaves, that Guardian Aura kicking in.
Oh,
extra armor, extra regeneration, pops the pipe. I think they lost the damage from Tag Team. Tag Team ran out, so they
Here comes Stormstormer
didn't
again.
have anything.
Blink, Walrus Punch. I don't know if that's going to help you, GH. Flame Break, Firefly. I don't think Lasso's even necessary at this point.
2 Flame Break charges, level 20, Octarine Core, going into Hex, Refresher next. Oh man, this game just keeps getting rougher and rougher.
At least they have 5 now. Hook. That hit something. That counts.
It's a hero.
I'm still at 100%. I didn't see that one up top. All right.
Another Zeus salty.
See there in Roche.
Scout things out. 25. There goes your 100% B-Cup.
Wait, did he just miss one again? No, he's fine. 25% accuracy, that's a lie. Somebody edit that. That number seems low.
He tried, but hit spiders a lot of the time.
Those count. That hit something. It's not a whiff.
It's a hero.
Hey, you know, if you catch bait fish, you still hit a fish.
Ricky.
Oh,
Lasso.
Lasso.
Can't get out of this
Snowball's not going to be there in time, and then Snowball all the way over to Stormstormer in the Firefly. Shards, that's not going to be it. Katomi's here with the silence, and they'll get another kill. It is another one for Watson, who is beyond godlike again. Still.
Again, I've said it once or twice already, but using the snowball on top of the cloud makes it almost impossible. Like, you might need to blink on the edge of the cloud. Stormstormer does not have ulti available, but will pop a BKB. They're trying to keep him alive.
They
Not
won't be
gonna
able
do
to.
it. Flame break. Stormstormer will be able to blink out if necessary.
If he wants
Ooh.
to. Right now, Force Staff though, and that's why Force Staffs are great. Gets him away from the Broodmother. They've got 8 stacks, 10 stacks of the sticky napalm, put you to sleep, put you to the grave, and
Double
down
godlike.
goes Mind Control. But can he get beyond godlike? That's the real question.
Judging how Nigma plays, I think the answer is yes, because they're not going to GG out. They're waiting until the end.
Chat, 1 for yes, 2 for no. I want to see those numbers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So Amar, ooh, hook, that one. It was used, it didn't miss, it was scouting. There they go, Dismember onto Amar, they've got the silence, they'll hit a Fade Bolt Watson with another kill. He still continues to be beyond godlike. He has 42 strength because of 21 stacks of Flesh Eat. Lasso onto this Tusk. GH is going to be in a lot of trouble, but he'll snowball right onto Stormstormer, who will get another kill for Watson, another stack for Watson. Keep the tally going. I think Watson, he has more Flesh Heap stacks in this game than Nigma have kills in this series.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That's should be a close one, I would say. But he's been popping up. Both, like all 3 cores, pretty much. Toby, they didn't even kill him one time. That moment where he dropped super low, but the Ice Frog effect kicked in. The casual Death Prophet for Spirit Siphons make it 5 now with the Shard upgrade.
Yeah, that is it the Ice Frog effect or is it plot armor? Because you get low and then somehow still survive and you're still at full health. Well, sleep, silence, you got your Shadow Dance off, and you'll try to salsa your way back up into the high ground.
Last tier 2 tower standing on top, so Entity will go and close this one. Holding the Aegis for 2 minutes. We'll smoke. Let's see, Kataomi.
Radiant's top tower is under
Very
attack.
annoying. We'll break that
Watson.
smoke immediately.
Blink, Dismember, and they've got this Tusk in trouble. They've also used the lasso. It's on the Mind Control over to the side. They get the kill into GH. They'll take out this Brood again. Now 2 heroes beyond godlike.
I'm no expert by any means, but I think this game is pretty over now, especially with the Exo. Zeus will use ulti to, again, scout things out, deal some damage. Hook.
Oh, hook. Scouting. Didn't miss. It got info. Copium. Bottom tier 3, it will die after this glyph. And there they go. So now the Racks are in trouble. Can they do anything to stop this? They have no mind control. That is, maybe that. I don't know. That was kind of scouting as well.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
Tier 3 tower gone, full barracks gone. Mar still trying to find farm and get that BKB going. 31k gold lead, 34 minutes into the game.
So that's what the ATF stands for. Always trying to farm.
Go on.
That's all I get? All right. Well, at least it was a reaction. That's all I can ever ask from you.
Hex now available on Stormstormer. He can initiate with the lasso, follow it up by a Hex.
They've got the lasso, they have the silence, they'll get the kill into Sumail, they'll look over as the Blink Dismember comes through on a GH.
And a hook as
the
well.
hook hits on a Kuroki. Pull him into the snowball, but that will lead to Stormstormer getting GH, Toby getting Kuroki, and, well, Entity getting this tier 3 tower over mid.
Hashtag never don't give up. My favorite.
Oh, hook hits again! 100%. That's going to be a sleep afterward. They've got the Hex. They'll get the kill. They'll take out Mind Control. That's 4 heroes dead on the side of Nigma Galaxy as this Aegis expires. Octarine Core picked up by Toby. And this tier 3, while not quickly, will eventually fall as there's another glyph coming out from Nigma. They're holding on hope as, well,
It did reset 40
they've got
seconds.
the BKB on Amar.
Let's see how this one's gonna go. Well, he's not enough. He's actually
the TP.
AFK.
There we go.
Never mind. He's gonna TP back.
No, he's ATF, not AFK. Never a winner. So they're just going to smoke and try and wrap around and maybe take a fight here. One that could potentially be victorious for them. Everything's 50-50. You either win the fight or you don't. And they're going to jump in with the Walrus Punch. They've got the Snowball to follow it up. They'll go after Fishman as the BKB's going to be popping right into the Dismember. So Omar's going to be controlled. He's only level 16 of the 23 of Watson. They go to the hand of God. They've got the suit. They'll hit the hook. It's on a Sumail. Amar trying to help out this Zeus, but even with these right clicks, Watson's literally losing 0 health. They'll get the kill on a Sumail. They'll look over as the Shadow Dance is going to end. He'll do the cha-cha slide right into the grave as they've got themselves a second. And they will lose nothing again. Lasso one more time at a Kuroki. GG is called, and Entity will win the series 2-0.
They've had enough. They GG'd out 45-5. Entity complete domination from the laning stage. Stormstormer on a Batrider. Like, the way he opened up the map was top-notch. DP stop, kills the Broodmother, and then gets the bots, DP's bottom, gets stuff done, delaying the timing from Nigma Galaxy that was supposed to be. We get the mech, we get the pipe going, and we try to group up, but this Sleeping Dart and mostly Cloud has caused so many issues. No Snowball saves, nothing from Slark to be used. They just couldn't play Dota. Like, I think they got, it's safe to say that they got outdrafted. They tried something different. It doesn't matter for them in the end because they're still going to stay in Division 1. They took care of that the other day. But for Entity, it means that they will be playing a 3-way tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. 3-way tiebreaker is always exciting with the BO1s and everything that is included. And if Entity look anything like this, they should have an easy time taking at least one of the slots to the Major. But to break down this current series, as much as this second game can be broken down, well, we've got the panel, and they're going to take it away right now.
We'll definitely break down this game number 2, have a bit of a chat about how it felt. A little bit like Enigma Galaxy were playing some PvE Dota here. They just were existing on the map. There wasn't really much space for them, and they just also could not find a team fight that went their way at all, in any way, shape, or form, Kazu.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but I think that their draft
I definitely told you so.
really hard to play. I think they're insanely on the back foot. And on top of that, I think Entity, once again, they played better. I think Stormstormer had a great game with Batrider. He's rotating, setting the pace. And from then on, I think it's pretty easy.
It's just so easy for them, right? Like, their heroes kinda, their draft plays themselves. Meanwhile, for Nigma to actually make it work, I feel that Tusk and Chen had to just overperform. All the rotations had to be on point, and they had to be on tempo and on these rotations 24/7, like in every minute of the game. So kind of difficult. Like, you have 3 lanes that are extremely strong, Pudge on one side, Pat on the other, and on the bottom that Prophet. No matter who you're playing into, it doesn't feel like you're winning that lane. It doesn't feel that your ganks will go that comfortably too. Just a rough game.
Yeah, I think for Nigma, it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back with this type of draft. You know, I think they've looked their best when Sumails are able to set a little bit of tempo in their early mid game with his heroes, and putting him on a Zeus, unless the rest of your heroes can enable that and really push everyone else forward, it's not really going to work out. And yeah, I think laning wise for Entity, they were giggling throughout it because they're able to pressure everywhere. They group up. Batrider, as soon as he picks up his boots of travel, he's instantly playing with a DP, unlocking that bottom pressure and just opening up the game. So yeah, Entity, beautiful game. We get to see them play Pudge again, all-out aggression. You love to see it. And for Nigma, yeah, just not really showing up in the second game.
It definitely feels like Enigma Galaxy that we didn't see over the last 2 days that they were competing. Entity, though, they are looking great. You know, they forced this 3-way tiebreaker, and it shows in this series why they deserve to be in contest for one of those major slots.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely proved why they need to be there in the full series, because in the game 1, they found a solution to a really, quote marks, broken strategy with the Ricky Mirana, and they actually managed to defeat it. In the second game, obviously, they played completely in their comfort zone, and if you give them their comfort zone, most of the time they will play just like they did. They'll have a Batrider with 12 kills, 1 death, and Pudge with 18 and 1.
I feel like they were actually able to find a solution within their comfort zone. I would say at least 3 out of the 5 of their players were always on something that I would put in their top percentage of hero pool.
Yeah, I think Entity is a really good first pick team. Like when they close out the first phase, it's Stormstormer's hero, be it a Pango, be it a Bat, and these are heroes that you just have a bit of a sight. Oh, again, we need
Let
to
him have it.
And it's like now you have to like ban for it, you have to draw for it, and I just think other teams when they're in this pick position, they might go for other strong heroes, ignoring like the best.
Yep.
And I just think Entity utilize it so well, and you have to be afraid and maybe don't just snap pick a Brood to be scared of Entity. I think there's other solutions to it, but no, again, Entity proving that first pick can be as dominant as second pick if you know how to enter it correctly.
I do think that they're one of the best at it, not only at how they close the phase and then ban for the hero, but I think also specifically in this series, their first phase bans is like, I think they banned Lesh and Nature's Prophet in both games in the first phase to just like make it harder for Enigma not only to get their comfort heroes, but also to play at this high tempo. So I think this team, they're very scary on first pick.
Yeah, Entity have stepped up with their draft, but also in their gameplay. They're just executing to another level than when they came into this DPC. But in your eyes, MVP, it was Storm in game number 1. Is it going to be him again in game number 2?
Could be Storm, could be Watson as well. The Pudge was on point. He wasn't letting that Slark do anything in the game.
Yeah. No love for the supports?
It could be anyone for me, seriously.
Yeah, no,
I think they played well on everyone, on whoever is helping them with
This
the
is
draft.
tough.
This is for me, this is a team win.
This is a draft win. There you go. So I know we don't have that ability.
He can have the gameplay win.
Sure. Okay. Why not? Give us a Storm. again.
82% kill participation.
Yeah.
Great hero damage, net worth. Man's kind of popping off.
He also
rotating
does
around
give
the
up his seat for the coach to do the drafting. So that's
True.
also another MVP thing as well. Not a lot of players would want to give up their seat in the draft. So
map. Selfish, very sacrificial.
good job, Stormer.
Yeah, big round of applause. The back-to-back MVPs. I don't know if we've had that one yet, but big congrats to him. Would you say this series was a bit of a support difference? It came down to what the supports were able to do and also the heroes that they were placed on.
I feel that most likely Entity, okay, in game 2, they definitely had more meta support, right? Especially when you look at Chen, that came kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But in game 1, they had, like you said, they found a solution. They played their comfort zone, which was the Treant, and then they added a little bit of spice with the Abaddon, who's not in the meta, but was a solution to the heroes that are in. So definitely a big difference in the 4s and the 5s, in the series at least.
And did you like a change? Did you feel that they became a little bit more active? Because that was your concern, Kezu, coming into this series for Entity.
I think in some way, yes, and I think in another way they answered it with the heroes around the supports that covered for them to continue to be in their comfort.
Yep.
And I think that's something that they do very well.
Yeah, I mean, Kezi put it nicely. No, just agreeing. Yeah, good point.
That is a good point. That is a good point. For Enigma Galaxy, they've secured themselves Division 1. That's pretty great. Entity, again, they're going to be going into these round robin, best of ones. How do you prepare for that? You know, you kind of know the two teams that you will be playing up against. Well, you do know, sorry. The two teams that you're going to be playing up against, but it's a really quick succession in which you'll be playing them.
Well, luckily, you've already played them before. You've already got a best of 3 under the belt, so you kind of roughly know what they've done there. Also in this region, once you played them, you start playing scrims against them because you know you can't play them again. But guess what? Bam! Tiebreakers. You need to play them again now. Surprise. So I think they're going to have a lot of information on each other, and you now just need to find.
So we should expect something wild completely?
No, I mean, it's just like the draft should be perfect.
Too much info, right? Like
Perfect!
They know each other
You're
so
expecting
well.
perfect drafts from all 3 teams.
I mean, when I say perfect draft, I mean the first 2 bans into openings for all teams should feel like perfect for everyone. If you're playing a best of 1, you can't leave the first phase and go, oh, I didn't really like that pick, because then your prep was atrocious and you're going to lose the best of 1. Like, that's how volatile these best of 1s are.
Also, luckily for Entity, they don't play the first match.
Yes.
They get to watch their 2 opponents and then they see at least a
Make
little
some more
bit.
notes. Yeah.
But most important for them is their own prep going into the game and making sure that they feel ready no matter what.
All right. Well, we could even ask that question to one of the Entity players. We have Stormer joining us. Stormer, firstly, congratulations. You forced tiebreakers, so a great win here. But you also get back-to-back MVPs from the panel, so it's a bit of a double win for you personally. How are you feeling?
Hey, hi guys. Yeah, feeling good, of course. Feeling great. It was a nice 2-0 game. So, yeah, obviously really happy and glad we got the chance to still play this major.
Yeah. I want to know a little bit of your thoughts about playing the best of 1 round robins. Is it hard in your eyes to prepare for that? And is it more difficult than playing, let's say, a best of 3?
Not sure, honestly. I mean, to be fair, we take match by match, so we mainly focus on the series that was happening today, you know? Like, Migma looked really strong the last couple of days, so we're not like, oh, we're guaranteed gonna play tiebreakers. But now, basically, now that you say it about the best of 1s, of course, it's a bit of a spicy situation. I do not think that we have ever been in a 3-way tiebreaker with this, like, so to say, cycle format. But, I mean, 2 out of 3 teams are going to qualify, and we are really confident we beat Tundra, of course. So we'll just do that again, and then things will be easy.
That's it, just an easy win.
Yeah, good job, by the way. Congrats once again for for making it to the possibility to getting to the major. I'm wondering, like, you obviously were at TI, right? And I'm wondering, like, now you know more about yourself. Do you think that you perform better in these situations, like when it's a best of one, when it's an important match, or do the emotions get to you a little bit? Where are you at?
For sure, you performed better. First of all, hi Lizard. My Keanu went. I texted you on Steam, by the way, because we had this topic last time.
I saw.
Okay, good. No, of course, like you always have nerves when you play officials. I think that is inevitable. But yeah, it's better like than it used to be. When you have played, of course, on TI Grand Stage, it's basically those games that count the most. So, I mean, everybody wants to go to the freaking Mage, and everybody will give their best. But I think we, over the course of playing together in tournaments and all this stuff, like your confidence gets higher, and also playing in stress situations, of course, you learn from it. So. For sure, yes. Like you feel nerves, but you can deal with it better, I would say.
Growth. Yep.
Hi, Stormer. You know, congrats on the win.
Oh, Robson.
Oh, what up, boss? All right, so
Dude,
were
it's
you
a panel full of friends. That's beautiful. Sorry, I had to say
awesome?
this.
You know, we actually requested it, and we were hoping you'd win so we could have this moment. You know, so good job. Anyway,
Requesting a win.
Yeah. Were you surprised that Nigma Galaxy, after not playing Brood throughout the tour, came into the series trying to pick it instantly, not banning it out, like not allowing you to have it?
So, I mean, maybe a bit, but I mean, also not really. I mean, the heroes just really busted, right? Like,
Sure.
if you have this first pick, you go into a game, and every team is just like, we don't want to give them this 8 boost, and that's mainly the reason why people 6-7 it even. Like, this hero is just too freaking annoying, and the imagination of giving it to the enemy on 8, and then they can even do 3 bans that they like, it's just way too terrible for most teams. So I think, I don't know, the way we are approaching drafts, we are definitely always considering it against every team, I think. Like, of course, we assume that as the MC can play it, so we prepared for it.
Sure. And, you know, talk about drafts a little bit more. You're one of the few players that played Tinker in your pub still. You know, you're getting some wins, you're getting some MMR. just no specifics here. Has there been a time during the DPC so far that you've asked for Tinker, but you've not been allowed it? They gave you something else. Like, I don't want to ask for too many details, but just be honest. Like, a little cheeky yes, no.
I mean, it happened. I'll say that much.
There we go.
But my coach promised me that we're gonna pick it in tiebreakers in one of the.
Nice.
I'm joking.
That's
He did
easy.
not, but-
Nope, you heard it
I mean,
here
that would
first.
be so easy, right?
Bro, if they first phase ban a Tinker now out of pure fear, you can thank me later, boss. No, joking, no, it's not happening.
It happened for sure, but it's a very niche hero. There are situations where you can pick it, and I think these situations are gonna come, but it takes some time.
Tiebreaker time, no worries.
Fish
Guys,
wait.
any questions?
Hi, Stürmi, big fan. Congrats on the win.
Hi, Maurice.
I have 2 questions for you. First,
Ooh,
you need to
okay.
tell me one mid player. When you lane against them, you go like, holy shit, this guy is so good, and I need you to give me the one specific thing that this guy is good at. Whether it's the way he trades, the way he CS's, or the creep equilibrium. There's gotta be someone.
Tough to tell. I mean,
Man's just too good.
Yeah.
honestly,
Himself, Stormstormer.
I mean, I think there are 3 really outstanding names right now on mid that I just respect very highly. And I mean, the first that come to my mind probably would be like Nisha, BZM, and Sumail. Mainly because of just the laning stage, really. Also, Sumail in this series, like when I played Pangolier against Ember in his first in the first match, like he played incredibly well, like on a crazy level on the first wave already. So you can just feel that some people are just sometimes really freaking in the zone, like especially Sumail. Like I don't know how he does it, but there are some like melee versus melee matchups where I don't know what he does. Like I swear to God, he's like has some hack that he has plus 10 damage or some shit, but he's getting like 2 or 3 more denies. So you know, of course, the number one thing that I think sticks to your head is like the laning stage when I talk about mid laners. That I like, you know. I don't know, when you think of mid laners think of the laning stage.
Yeah.
So those 3 come first to mind that just have really incredibly solid laning stages, I would say.
That makes sense. And then second, in the game just now, where you had Bad Rider in the closing phase, did you guys intend on picking Slark in the second phase? Or were you surprised that they picked at 15? Because you guys didn't ban it, which surprised me a little bit.
It was definitely a high contested pick, I think. So we were playing with the idea of picking it 16, 17, but we also saw it coming that they might 15 it. So I think we were expecting that the hero is going to be picked in second stage no matter what, or banned by either one. for sure. I don't think it would have been ignored.
Yeah, makes sense. Danke.
All right. Well, everyone else got to ask 2 questions. So I'll ask my second one. What do you think has been the biggest growth for Entity over DPC? Because last time we talked to you, you guys said you had some struggles with overextending. We've seen sometimes drafts fall a little bit short for you guys as well. But in your eyes, where has been that biggest growth?
So you mean this DPC, right?
Yeah, mainly this tour.
This tour mainly.
Yeah.
Okay. I think both like the overextending part is a really big one. Like we put more emphasis on having like people screaming "Go back, go back, go back" because our team loves to say "Go in, go in, go in, go in." So now we have at least one guy saying, "Guys, it's tier 2 tower, 5 people alive, chill, chill." So the overextending part for sure, and I think our drafting also got significantly better. We had some talks after some games, like when we were we went out of the game and we felt like we basically lost because we misdrafted. Yep. So, and that's like a feeling you don't really want to have. You want to be like, hey, at least you lost because the enemy played better. You don't want to have a loss that is like, this game is just really hard because you drafted in a bad way. Mm-hmm. So I think these 2 points are really the main points we improved on. Okay. Both drafting and like playing, team fights in a bit more disciplined way.
Was there a certain series that you felt that pivot happen? Or it's just a gradual thing that now that you look back, you're like, oh yeah, this has changed?
The OG series has been very big for us, especially after game 3. We had a draft that we were not happy with, and we had some tough talks after that. We ended up with like a 2 greedy draft, and the game played out in, I don't know how long it took, like 33-minute game or something. But it basically was like you play this game, it keeps going, but like you're not really gonna be able to win it just because of draft, because you have Naga, Razor, Invoker. I don't even know the 2 supports, and I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Oh yeah, we're looking at it now. It's,
yeah. Like that draft. Bye Watson. That draft basically was a big turning point for us. I think when we had some big talks, we were like, okay, we don't want to do this stuff anymore, and now I think we got way more solid drafts and stuff.
Fantastic to hear.
You mentioned the go back calls being made. Who exactly is doing it most in the team then? Who's like the most level-headed now? You've got all the enthusiasm, all the energy, but like who's become that, tranquil gamer?
I think mainly it's me, honestly.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I think mainly it's me. I mean, in many games I'm also playing like sort of the initiator when I get to play like a Pango or a Bat or something. So for me, it's also a bit easier to see when I see a good jump or a bad jump or when I even messed up my jump.
Sure.
So basically, the moment I do a jump and I see like it's bad, I'm like screaming, "Go back, go back, go back, go back. This is not it," So everybody is doing a bit more, I guess, but I'm especially emphasizing on it, I would say.
Nice. Good job, mate. Yeah.
No more questions for your friend Stormstormer? No more?
Fair enough of him.
Yeah.
All right, the panel wants to send you away, but Stormstormer, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in Tiebreakers.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
luck.
for having me, and yeah. Oh, I thought you said something. My bad. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, it's nice. Stormstormer giving us some insight. It is good to hear that he's the level-headed one, but also, is there an interview recently where you haven't said the word shit, Kazu?
No. Is it bad?
It's bad though, because him saying it, I've also whipped out the word as well a couple more times. It gets a bit...
Good influence.
Yeah, like when you get passionate about something, you just say it, and then you're like, God damn, I got Kezu'd again. And it's like...
The thing is, though, because I'm a Dota player, we're all Dota players.
That's true.
They play Dota. When I use the more natural
it just
lingo,
connects to them.
Yes.
They understand the question on like an emotional level.
Exactly. It's easier for them to be like, yeah, this guy,
it's just proper good shit, innit? Like, come on. What are we saying?
Exactly.
All right, I just had to ask that question,
Thank you.
Of course. Well, let's have a look at the schedule one more time, or the leaderboard. It's going to be the leaderboard. We're going to see where all the teams shape up. Now that we have finished our series, the regular, normal part of our winter tour for Western Europe is done and dusted. That's not the leaderboard, though. Although if you could decipher it.
Snowing outside, that's why. You just got to wipe off the snow real quick.
Yeah,
it's a bit foggy, yeah.
All right, well, I can start saying it anyway because we already know that Liquid was in number 1, Gaming Gladiators in number 2, OG, I was blending all the names together then, OG, Tundra, and Entity, make a couple name out of that one, all tied right now with 4 wins and 3 losses. Enigma Galaxy securing themselves in Division 1, but down there in 6th place, and then 7th and 8th is going to be Into the Breach and Secret, respectively. Which is unfortunate. We're going to be seeing 2 really enjoyable teams. Into the Breach had some great drafts go down to Division 2, but more reason to watch some Div 2 action. And the best of one 3-way tiebreaker.
Banger.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yep.
How are you guys seeing this play out? Which team is not going to make it to the major? That's the easier question here. Yeah.
I will just
Yep.
say
That's easier.
I'm going to say it. Yep, straight up.
the beauty of best of ones is
It's infinite.
it's infinite. And I feel like these are the 3 teams that they easily can just beat one after another and force out at least 2 variations of the tiebreaker. I think after recent performances, honestly, I think Tundra looks slightly the weakest of them all, just because they haven't evolved throughout the DPC, whilst OG and Entity have. And Tundra's early wins came, again, in the early stages of the DPC.
There's a chance they just pick it up as well. They figure some things up. Like, they had a couple of incredible coaches.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, for me,
drafters.
I feel like this tiebreaker, sure, it doesn't make OG and Tundra go straight into the major, but I kind of want to see more from them. They didn't sell it to me that they deserve to be there yet.
Okay.
So I think that, I mean, the 2 teams that will show up tomorrow, obviously they will make it. But I do think if OG and Tundra want to have a good chance, they need to have improved from their recent series to tomorrow.
Sure.
Gonna ask to see if the schedule can come up. We'll see if production, they cannot do it. So instead, it's not gonna come up.
Would you like me to whip out the schedule, Jake?
No, I do know the schedule off the top of my head, but I instead want to just have a chat about, you say that OG hasn't impressed you, Tundra's fallen a little bit short. Where does Entity sit in that then? Are they that complete opposite? They're that third option of, I've now been so impressed by
Yeah,
it.
I feel like for me they're the favorites to come out of the 3-way tie. Like,
Yeah.
Because before, when the DPC started, I had my worries for them because they were kind of one-dimensional and everyone could figure out what they're drafting and how they're going to play.
Okay.
But they've found solutions to the meta. Like in every series that they play, they figure out some neat little trick that they can use versus heroes that are played against them, and they still make their style work. Like this Pudge, how many times have we seen the exact same draft from them? More or less, like slight variation here and there. It absolutely doesn't matter because it completely fits in the style that these players are.
And then for OG, what do you feel that they need to bring to the table? Because just a small point.
I feel like their mid-game falls flat sometimes. I think that's where they need to improve. Mid-game team fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they have these lineups that are super snowball and aggressive, and other times they give themselves like Naga, Disruptor, Tree, DP, Invoker, and they can't really do anything in the mid game. So I think their drafts are probably the most volatile out of the 3 teams in the tiebreaker, but also some of their drafts can be insane. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
There is that leaderboard that I was reading to you guys just before, but now you can use your eyes and see where all of the teams shape up. Obviously, the best of ones is what we're talking about. These tiebreakers, they're going to be played tomorrow, right there. The first series starting at 3 p.m. It's going to be Tundra versus OG. The second series is then going to be Entity up against the winner of the first series. And then that third series will be played, and it will be played Entity versus the loser of the first series. So Entity, you guys already pointed out, they have that nice little break. They get to be on the second half of these tiebreakers. Do you feel that there's going to be a big advantage for them doing that?
It's so 50-50 because having the 1 game break, you then play the winner. Winning then gets momentum. If you then lose that second series for Entity, that you come off of a loss, then moving into a game that you have to win to get to the major. So I think it really depends on how well you take L's as a team. Because if they are to take an L in second series, it's not the momentum pushing you into your next one.
And combo that all with the pressure of all these games being best of ones.
Yeah.
So that's never an easy thing because you can get into a place in which you're overthinking drafts. Like because there are niche picks. We've seen Huskars banned here by Entity against Migma. Like Tundra, they're known for a couple of those niche picks as well. They can get in your head.
And for yourself, Kezu, some closing thoughts about our very short, cozy Sunday?
No, I don't have any.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very enlightening. So we will close out today's show. Remember, tiebreak is starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. here on this Twitch channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this bonus Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, guys, it's better.
I'm running too. If Ruby comes here with guests, I have 0 mana almost, guys.
Guys, do jump.
I'm coming with mech for you.
I have a lot of heal, but... Yeah, that's coming, yeah.
Guys, we fucked them. I'm here. Just fucking that. I fucked them all. Yes. Yes. Kill them all.
They have no heal.
Chase more after Chen.
I'm out.
Yes. Watch. Family, kill family. Yes. Task.
I silence. Back.
Anyways.
Give me a kill. I need that again. Creeps. No.